Oh my God, eto na, we're live and we have 8,000 viewers. 8,000 viewers. Hello, good evening, everyone. Happy National Heroes Day. Ayan. So, please do share this live stream now sa inyong mga social media accounts because magkakaroon tayo ng bonggang-bonggang rant sesh tonight dahil bibigyan namin ng tribute or okray namin yung mga pabayani, yung mga pa-hero sa work, 'di ba? Because not all heroes wear capes. Minsan ikaw lang din 'yun. Kasi pa-hero ka or sip-sip ka sa boss mo. Sharing. So please do share this live stream now. And again, welcome to Pecha de Peligro. I'm Jancy Nicolas. I'm your host for tonight and I'm also the editor-in-chief of Hiraya Media. And of course, sa mga nagfa-follow na sa mga social media accounts namin or sa nakanood na sa first episode ng Pecha de Peligro 2 weeks ago, na-introduce ko na din yung Hiraya Media. So kung may mga newcomers man out there, no, nakakanood lang dito sa Pecha de Peligro, this Pecha de Peligro is an online show produced by Hiraya Media and Story Slayers, and Hiraya Media is a pretty young and young startup company. This January lang kami nag-launch and we are a digital media company who aims to challenge the Filipino narrative. Ayan, so across all platforms kami, nasa Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and we also have our website www.herayamedia.com kung saan nandyan ang lahat ng mga articles at mga stories namin about Filipinos from different parts of the world. Ayan, so do check out all those stories there. Pero bago kayo pumunta dyan, dito muna kayo, samahan nyo kami dito sa Pecha de Peligro. And go ahead and umatake lang kayo dyan sa comment section. Makichika kayo sa amin sa mga ihahanash namin later. Samahan nyo kaming alamin kung sino kayo sa mga Bayani Archetypes na ipapakita namin later. Ayan, so sa ngayon wala pa mga nagko-comment, no? But kung nasaan man kayong parte ng mundo, magandang umaga dyan sa States, sa mga followers and sa mga viewers namin na nandyan sa States. Alam ko ito na naman, lalabas ko na naman yung world clock ko eh. Ayan. Para naman, shout out lang natin quickly ang iba't ibang Filipino friends natin from different territories. So, sa London, ayan, 3 o'clock doon ngayon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Queen Elizabeth. Wow, close kami. And sa LA and San Francisco, good morning. Ang aga dyan. Magkape na kayo, guys. Good morning, America. New York, 10 a.m. So, good morning, Sarah Jessica Parker. Kamusta naman ang shooting niyo dyan? Ng And Just Like That. Wow, feeling close. Ba't ako may Bangkok? Kasi nga, syempre, andun yung mga Thai BL loves ko. Pero magandang gabi sa mga kapwa natin Pilipino dyan sa Thailand. 9:04 doon ngayon. Dubai, ayan, gabi na. So malamang nakauwi na from work ang ating mga kababayan dyan. Hello guys, magandang gabi. At sa Toronto, sa Canada, 10 a.m. ngayon doon. 10:05, ayan, kakapalit lang. So maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga viewers namin na tumututok from different parts of the world. At sana patuloy nyo pa rin kaming samahan every Pecha de Peligro. Of course, yun yung pangalan ng show. Pero ngayon hindi naka Pecha de Peligro, sweldo day to day ha. Although I've heard, pag Monday daw, hindi naman sumusweldo. Totoo ba yun? Or hindi pa pumapasok. Or anyway, feeling ko katapusan ngayon sa August, or August 30 ngayon. So, sana nakuha niya na yung sweldo niyo at saka sana hindi pa siya nasisimot. Pero kung nasimot na siya, iyak ka na lang. Sorry. Ayun, may mga nag-comment na, oh my God, si Alex nandito. Hi, Alex! Kamusta naman? Eto, at sinang Grace, si GeForce Grace, good PM ng Jancy. And wait lang, gusto kong pasalamatan itong dalawa kong friends na to na nag-garfan kanina lang. At pinadala sa akin, ito, ng Jumar and ng Grace, present po ako yang hiyana si Gat Jose Rizal sa kabayanihan ko. Ng Jumar and ng Grace, thank you so much sa inyong ayuda. Ayan, so follow nyo si gfs.kitchen. Ayan, pagbibake kayo ni ng Grace habang humahataw siya. Yan, so sarap siya. Apple crumble pie yung pinadala nila sa akin. Ang sarap nito in fairness. Tapos, mainit pa. So, i-ano nyo sa or initin nyo sa microwave, tapos patungan nyo ng vanilla ice cream na malamig, bonggang-bongga. Ayan, so, hello. Ayan yung mga minaanaks ko pumupunta dito. Hello, Bernadette. Good evening. Hello, Kevin. Ayan, makinig kayo. Tumuto kayo dito sa Petsa de Peligro. Marami kayong matututunang bonggang-bongga. Okay. So, ayun na nga, mga kapwa alipin. Excited na ba kayo sa chikahan natin tonight for National Heroes Day? Kasi iisa-isahin natin ang iba't ibang um, bayani archetypes sa workplace, 'di ba? So marami kasi mga hero archetypes, 'di ba? At saka ano 'yan, parang sa dami ng listahan namin ni-narrow down na lang namin siya sa parang pinaka major. So later alamin nyo. Okay, alamin nyo kung sino kayo doon at pwede kayong comment diyan at mag-share din kayo ng mga anecdotes nyo at saka mga chika nyo about sa mga mapag-uusapan natin tonight. And of course, hindi ako nag-iisa tonight. As always, meron tayong mga subject matter experts na iniimbitahan. Okay? Para mas maging bonggang-bongga at mas maging insightful yung conversations natin for each episode. And actually, tatlo ang kasama ko ngayong gabi. Ayan. So, meron tayong kasama from overseas. From the Silicon Valley. O, taray ng Silicon Valley. Oy, legit na Silicon Valley to as in sa San Francisco Bay Area. Baka isipin niyo yung Silicon Valley na bilihan ng gadget sa SM Manila or sa MOA. Hindi. Legit to, guys. Okay? And of course, yung dalawa naman, two of my closest friends from college. So dito pa talaga kami ulit nagkita-kita no, sa Petsa de Peligro after a long time. Ayan. So, quick shout out lang tayo kay Sir Ryan Faura. Hi, good evening, Sir Ryan. Sir Ryan is a public school teacher and a published author. So, abangan nyo soon. May isa siyang sinulat na article for Hiraya Media na i-release namin soon. Bonggang-bongga yung essay niya na yon. Okay. Oh my God, si RB Licious andito. Hi, RB, of course. Andito siya to support me and her best friend. Okay, so makinig ka ha. Chika ko later ng bonggang-bongga. Minsan mag-guest ka din dito bilang dati mo tong trabaho as a radio DJ. Ayan. Hello RB, thank you so much for watching. Okay, so I guess simulan na natin tsaka imbitahan na natin yung mga guests natin, no? Para magsimulan natin ng mainit-init na chikahan for tonight. Handa na ba kayong mambash? Mambash! Sharing lang. Siyempre, hindi tayo mambabash, masama yun. Pero magsasabi tayo ng totoo. 'Di ba? Sa mga injustices, sa mga hindi makatarungang ganap sa workplace. Paglalaban natin yung mga bayani. Okay, so ang first guest, introduce ko na ang ating first guest. Sino nga ba yung first? So nakalimutan ko kung sino yung first guest na i-introduce ko. Ayan, naalala ko na siya. Okay. So our first guest, okay, he's been doing brand marketing and campaign management for the last 6 years. Okay, so medyo marami-rami na ring experience tong guest natin na to. He specializes in helping companies achieve their business and marketing objectives from generating brand awareness, driving users to their app, to creating online shopping behavior. So meron siyang total of 10-year work experience spanning from broadcast media, retail, and e-commerce. Ayan, he also has 4 years in creatives and content strategy na experience and 6 years in brand management, campaign strategy, and digital marketing. Ang bongga naman niya. Siya na lang kaya mag-host. Charit. Okay. Okay, so let's all welcome my dear friend, Matt Austria. Ayan. Hi, Matt! Welcome to Petsa de Peligro.
Hi, Jancy. Good evening.
Good
Good evening to
evening.
everyone
Ayan.
who's watching also.
Ayan. Okay. So, isunod na natin yung next. Okay, ito na. Alam niyo, kulang na lang talaga dito, emperador. Kakainis, si tayo makainom. Visit na pandemya to. Okay, eto. So, eto namang next guest, nako, he has almost 10 years of experience in integrated marketing communication, and he specializes in events management. In fairness talaga, magaling event tong friend natin na to. Events management, ad and promotions, and business operations. So ito yung mga industries na pinagtrabahuhan niya. Actually, bilib ako dito kasi ako, parang isang kumpanya, dalawa lang yung napagtrabahuhan ko sa tanang buhay ko. Ito, marami-rami siyang pinuntahan. At marami-rami din siyang natutunan doon na i-share niya sa atin tonight. So, he went to hospitality industry, sa events and sales, nag-events coordinator siya, nag-academe siya as a management staff, and meron din siyang experience sa leasing, mall marketing, and very recent actually is sa cinema and concession. So sa business operations, sales and marketing. So naging cinema operations manager itong next guest natin. At marami-rami siyang ma-share for sure for tonight's episode. So without further ado, let's all welcome from Husto Podcast, Serra. Hi,
Hello
August!
po, magandang gabi. Salamat po sa pag-invite po sa akin sa The Bash. Thank you po. Ay, hindi pala.
Oo. Welcome to the bus. Oo.
Peligro pala.
Chika. Ayan. Okay. So, ayan, kompleto na kami magkakaibigan. So, meron pa akong isang invite na subject matter expert. Ito naman, alam niyo naman tayo dito sa Pecha de Peligro, nag-invite tayo ng someone who can give us the HR's perspective. Okay, so ang next guest natin, again, she's from San Francisco. And ang experience niya is naging barista supervisor siya sa isang retail coffee shop for 3 years. And she's currently an HR at a large multinational e-commerce company for almost 4 years now. And of course, she's also the co-founder of Hiraya Media. So, technically, boss ko siya, guys. Okay. Please welcome on Petsa de Peligro. Actually, nasa Petsa de Peligro din naman siya last week, pero nasa backstage siya. Pero ngayon, dadali na kita. Akyat ka dito hanggang ka ngayon. Let's all welcome Allie Gagalang. Hi, Allie!
Hi, guys! Hello! Good evening, good morning.
Ayan. Nagtatagalog naman po si Ali, wag po kayong kabahan. Pero nag-i-English din po siya, syempre. Wala ka namang hindi. Ayan. Okay. Ready na ba kayo? Guys,
Ready.
Sasikahan natin to na.
Ready.
Go.
Okay. Sige, pero quickly lang, before we go to the different archetypes to sa workplace na shortlist natin, I just want to ask each of you, sa experience nyo na so far as being young professionals, at nung sinabi ko sa inyo na, yes, kayo naman sa Petsa de Peligro at pag-usapan natin yung mga kabayanihan natin sa trabaho. Ano yung initial thoughts nyo about it? Ba't kayo na pa yes? Kasi in fairness, yes kayo agad eh. nung sinabi ko na ito yung topic, parang na-excite kayo agad. Ikaw Matt?
Ako talaga, yes agad kasi pangarap ko talaga to eh. Gusto ko talaga mag-guest dito kasi parang totoo kasi dati sa work, madalas kami mag-FGD. So, lagi lang ako dun sa behind the scenes, taga-pasa ng tanong na iba pa yung magtatanong. So, I kind of want to experience what it's like na ikaw naman yung sasagot, mag-share ng opinion mo. Tapos, regardless of the topic, since alam ko naman na ikaw yan, di ba? I'm in good hands. So, yes agad.
Okay. Are you sure that you're in good hands?
Not 100%, but...
Kasi may game tayo later na, name drop your company. Charet! Charot lang. Siyempre, makakademanda tayo, no? Holiday na holiday, baka makulong tayo. Charot lang, huwag tayong gano'n. Okay. Ikaw naman, August.
Actually, pareho kami ni Matt. Pangarap ko din to.
Bata pa lang kayo, pangarap niyo na to. Parang 10 years na yung Petsa de Peligro kung baka magpangarap pa kayo. So, Gucci ka lang,
Mabuting kaibigan niya. Pero actually, tinanong ko din sa anong topic kasi gusto ko din na maging part ng isang conversation wherein meron akong maabag. And nag-gets ko kung bakit ako kasi I think gusto ko din i-share sa kanila yung kasi ito yung mga bagay na hindi normalize, na pinag-uusapan ng police or ina-acknowledge as something na important na pag-usapan. Kasi, kumbaga, kung ang mga kausap mo is mga friends mo or sabihin natin mga workers mo, parang hindi automatic na may isip mo na baka ma-burden sila. Kasi, kumbaga, yung pagpapabayani sa office, parang nahihiya ka na i-share siya kasi ayaw mong maging burden yung struggles mo sa iba, di ba? Kasi they have also their own thing na ginagawa. So, I think it's a good platform also na kung hindi siya mapag-usapan, kung hindi siya ma-normalize, ano natin siya, na parang ilabas natin siya, and hopefully this will be a start, no, of something pwedeng gawin ng mga bayani natin, sa mga alipin natin.
That's right. Okay. Ali, ikaw, syempre pinag-usapan natin to prior, no? And we decided that this is going to be our second episode.
Mm-mm.
Pero, difference din kasi is you have an experience na abroad. And abroad, of course, especially dyan sa States, you have a different work culture there compared here. So, initially, ano yung mga thoughts mo about our topic tonight, about, these heroic, quote-unquote, heroic things that we do at work, and if they are valid or not, we'll see later.
Sa akin, I think it's very important to talk about it kasi 'di ba dito sa Amerika, merong mga bayani pero kailangan bayad ng mga bayani dito. 'Di ba? Kasi kasi number one, legally they have to get paid. Yung overtime, ganyan, 'di ba? So, yun gusto ko lang, I think yun yung why I wanted to come here is to compare and contrast the work culture here and the work culture there. Diba? Because it's vastly different. Though I have to say I've not worked in the Philippines because I left, or like I haven't worked in the Philippines before, like medyo part-time lang ganyan for an organization, but I've never really like worked retail or corporate. So I wanted to, inject some of the American Western work culture dito sa topic na to. It's vastly different.
Yes. And definitely, feeling ko makakatulong yung mga insights mo dyan sa States. Kasi yun nga, ibang-iba eh. And actually, aside from you also have friends. Yan, kami nila Matt, nila August, na mga OFW friends. Ayan. And kapag nagkukwento sila about their experiences there, in the Middle East or in the UK, sa ibang mga territories, iba talaga. And one thing that na tumatatak sa akin sa mga stories nila is yung pagiging parang black and white and objective ng mga bagay-bagay. Na something na parang feeling ko we should adapt more here in the Philippines. Kasi may tendency talaga ang mga companies and mga organizations dito sa mga bosses din dito sa Philippines na may whether they are conscious or not about it, may pagka-gaslighters, alam mo yun, may mga ganun sa workplace eh. And yun nga, parang the Pinoy culture always encourages yung parang, yun nga, yung pagiging hero, pagiging matiisin. Very, very Pinoy yun eh. So, sige, later i-breakdown natin isa-isa yung mga yan. Okay. So, simulan na natin sa ating first Bayani Archetype. So, sa mga nanonood ngayon sa Facebook at saka sa YouTube, comment lang kayo. Kung kayo to, mag-comment kayo ng emoji na nakaganon. Or kung ano man, ako yan, ganyan. Or hindi ako yan. Or may workmate akong ganyan na gusto kong sabunutan. Tsareng. Yon, i-comment nyo lang dyan, tapos ipa-flash natin later and share lang kayo ng insights nyo. So, ready na ba? Ang ating first archetype ay Nako ba, sabihin nyo kung familiar to. I think familiar to sa lahat. Si OT Warrior. Nako, ayan. So, si OT Warrior, as we all know, yan yung asan na si OT Warrior? Ba't hindi naka-flash? Flash natin si OT Warrior. Na-flash na ba? O ako lang di nakakakita?
Flash.
Ako lang ang di nakakakita. Galing, no? Ako yung host, tas di ko siya nakikita. Ewan ko din dito sa browser ko eh. Teka nga, pupunta ako Facebook. Oh, ayan, si OT Warrior, napahiya ako ah. So, si OT Warrior, as we all know, siya yung, tawag dito, OT ng OT, di natin sure kung si OT Warrior ay bayad or hindi ah. So, alamin natin. Kasi ibang kaso pa pag hindi ka bayad, tas OT ka ng OT. Okay, sige. So, guys, eto, si OT Warrior, what do you think about him or her or them? So, siguro ang first question, sige, tanungin ko si Matt. Naging OT Warrior ka din ba? And anong level ng
Naman.
OT Warrior mo?
Yung sukdulan.
Sige, share mo yan, oh.
Oo naman, naging OT warrior din ako to the level na medyo detrimental sa health. Pero to be honest, no regrets naman. Marami ako na-accomplish. Marami ako na-accomplish pag nag-OT ako, and I make it a point that work. So, hindi naman OT lang na para lang ano. Tsaka, yung pag-OT kasi, well, at least sa level ko that time, hindi naman kasi bayad. So, I'm kind of doing it, out of my own volition. Wala namang pumilit sa akin, pero syempre yung deliverables yung main driver kung bakit ka nag-OT. And I must say, marami naman siyang napuntahang magagandang bagay, yung hours na in-spend ko sa pag-OT. So, I think, while this might be, negative in some aspects, nasa sayo rin kung paano mo gagawin positive yung pag-spend mo ng more hours in the office. While everyone has gone home, ikaw nasa office pa, nagtatapos ka, 'di ba? You make sense out of it, and you have to.
Mm-mm. And actually, ako feeling ko pwede din natin i-classify yung OT Warrior as hindi lang siya yung nagstay sa office yan yung parang tipong friends na siya nung white lady sa opisina nyo, alam mo yun, or hindi na siya takot dun sa batang nagpiprint dun sa desktop kasi kabanding na niya sa gabi. Pero meron din kasi mga OT Warrior, I think, na nag-uuwi ng work. So, ibang level naman
That's
yun.
so
Parang, di
true.
ba? Which is something na hindi ko na rin ginagawa. Pero ang weird kasi paano mo gagawin? Paano mo masasabi hindi ka nag-uwi ng work? Work from home ka. Pero before, I mean, nung medyo, di ba, tumagal-tagal ka na sa yuppie, parang medyo hate na hate ko na yun yung nag-uwi ng trabaho. Pero, so actually tatanungin ko pa lang, pero nasagot na ni Matt, nag-OT siya ng walang bayad. Kasi ako personally, never pa ako naka-experience ng OT pay Ikaw, August, naka-experience ka na ba ng OT pay?
Actually, may growth ako as an OT warrior Nagsimula ako sa OT na may pay, and then come to a managerial level, wala ka ng pay for OT. Pero yung OT warrior level ko, umabot ako doon sa level kung saan meron akong sleeping bag or parang sleeping paraphernalia. Kasi talagang hindi may iwasan. Well, for my industry or for my nature of work, talaga, kumbaga, ever since na pumasok ako doon, like especially for the cinemas, alam ko na meron talagang times na kailangan mo ng overtime kasi operational yung business na ginagawa mo more than the 8 hours. So, and it's a call of my work, no, to do that. That's why minsan doon na rin ako natutulog. Tapos doon ako naliligo sa restroom ng cinema just to make sure lang na everything goes smooth, kumbaga, sa business operation.
Oo. It's important pala nga naman to actually point out na iba-iba yung nature ng iba't ibang jobs. So like for instance, kunwari ako din sa media, di ba? Ako nga pelikula dati. So parang, pero yung kunwari news, syempre, di ba, parang parte yun ng serbisyo and nature ng trabaho So talagang di maiwasan yung pag-OT na level. Parang, ano bang pakialam ng bagyo kung 'di ba? Kung anong timeline mo at kailangan mo na umuwi, 'di ba? Syempre dadating siya sa sarili niyang pacing. And of course, yung mga frontliners natin, yung mga medical frontliners, yung mga doctors and nurses, 'di ba? Yan, talagang may mga naka-duty sila na beyond sa usual working hours. Ako share ko lang quickly, sabi ko nga kay Ali, alam mo kung may OT pay ako, yaman-yaman ko na siguro. Ay, siguro meron akong 5 kotse, 10 bahay, ganyan. Naalala ko dati, nag-shoot ako ng ano ba yung sinot kong pelikula? X and Y's. Parang kasi 'di ba pag call time kasi makaka-receive ka ng 4, 5, 6, meaning 4 AM, 5 AM, 6 AM. So 4 AM call time, 5 AM pull out, 6 AM nasa set, parang ganyan, then grind, ganyan, or breakfast na yun. Parang umalis kami ng ABS, ang palabas dun sa TV nung van, Umagang Kay Ganda. Tapos, umuwi kami, Umagang Kay Ganda ulit yung show. Sabi ko, wow, taray, parang deja vu. Pero syempre ngayon, nire-regulate na yan sa film industry Kasi because of the health hazards, ganyan and stuff, ganyan. Kailangan, may mga producers na strictly na fina-follow talaga na 12 hours ata. Ganyan. So talagang naka-time and motion. Basta may tawag sila na parang naka-oras dapat. And for me, importante yun. Importante actually. Kasi may feeling ako na in an overtime setup, it's always glorified to the point that it becomes a badge of honor.
Right.
Na hindi ko alam kung tama. Kasi, una, parang gone are the days kasi na ganon. Dahil feeling ko, meron ng trend ngayon of, alam mo yun, sa workplace na dapat i-value yung sleep, yung health, because iba na parang sabi nga sa States daw, parang it's sort of a parang health crisis na yung stress. Diba? And secondly, feeling ko, shinare ko na to with Ali prior to our episode. I've read this from the book 4-Hour Workweek. Tsaka narinig ko din siya kay Adam Grant sa podcast niya with Ted. Sinabi dun yung Parkinson's Law. And when I heard about it, sabi ko, parang life-changing talaga siya for me. So basically, I'm using my own words pero yung Parkinson's Law, ang principle lang behind it is, nag-a-adjust yung ating work or the way we perform a task as employees or as humans, depending on the length of the working hours na pinoprovide natin. So, kunwari, si Matt tsaka si August, they are assigned to do a certain task. Kunwari, ano ba pwede? Kunwari, to submit a report, for instance, ganyan. And August was given 1 week and Matt was given like 3 hours or 2 hours. Pag si Matt, dahil 2 hours lang siya or less, kailangan, parang didiscartihan niya na para mas mapaprioritize niya ano yung immediate, di ba? Parang nagagawa niya agad kung ano natatapos niya. Kasi wala kang choice hinihingi sa'yo ng boss mo within 2 hours or less. Kay August naman, dahil binigyan siya ng 1 week, parang ang daming nadadagdag na unnecessary task doon sa supposedly, pwede namang simple mo siyang gawin. And I realized, ako personally as a writer, it helped. Kasi dati, meron akong 8 hours a day. I will write straight 8 hours a day. 10 sequences, kunwari, I will target it. Tapos, dahil may 8 hours ako in a day, nandiyan magmumuni-muni, procrastinate, ganyan. But when I tried to narrow it down to, I will just write an hour a day or 2 hours a day, tapos in between those hours, may 15-minute break or 30-minute break. So, 2 hours, 30 minutes in total. Every day gagawin ko yun siguro hanggang ma-reach ko yung deadline ko ng Sunday, kunwari. It was easier for me kasi, una, hindi ko dinedread na, oh my God, today is the day I write for 8 hours. Ngayon, inisip ko, 2 hours lang, kaya to. Diba? Secondly, hindi ako, lahat ng mga arte ko o yung mga buwelo-buwelo unnecessary, nawawala kasi 2 hours Diba? I have to write something on that Microsoft Word file or on paper, no matter how pangit it may be. Kailangan ko masyang masulat, diba? So, minsan yung overtime din, it's not actually solely to be blamed dun the company. Baka din dun sa employee, pag-isipan din niya yung productivity niya. What do you think about that, Ali?
I think that's right. We've talked about this before. It's really forced us employees to prioritize our task. We have to really think about it, and we are forced to be more efficient sa job than yung kung ano na lang basta ano mo yung 8 hours. Mabuno mo yung 8 hours, diba? personally, dun sa share ko lang na ako, never pa akong nag-overtime kasi salaried ako. So, walang bayad yung overtime ko. Kahit na ba may 1 hour ako. Kasi technically, I'm paid from 8 to 5. So, 8 hours siya, diba? But if I go, nag-work pa ako an hour, hindi na bayad yun. Kasi at the end of the year, I'm paid the same. So, kahit na anong gawin ko, hindi ako bayad. Diba? So, iba rin yung ano doon, iba yung the way I work, iba rin versus if I was hourly, iba rin yung ano ko, yung the way I work. Kasi bayad ako every hour. Diba? So, iba rin.
Actually, can you tell us more about that, Ali? Yung difference baka kasi may mga iba na bago sa kanila to and yet, I'm sure na-experience na nila to. I think even si August and Matt, pag na-describe mo, they would be familiar about this. Yung retailed and yung salaried, yung pros and cons niya in terms of yung payment sa sa empleyado sa kanya and yung pagiging output-based versus process. Yung obsession about dun sa process of getting the work done.
Sa akin, salaried, personal experience, salaried. At the end of the year, like I said, at the end of the year, you get paid this amount. Say, for example, at the end of the year, you get paid 50,000 pesos. Done. Kahit na anong gawin mo, kahit na mag-overtime ka, whatever, hindi ka gumawa ng trabaho or whatever, you get paid the same. Of course, there is annual reviews or mid-year reviews in between. So, kung mid-year reviews or annual reviews, papasweldoin ka ba na may raise ka ba, ganyan, or you get fired. Ganon. Yun yung review. But like I said, at the end of the year, same pay. Hourly, iba-iba siya. So, kunwari kumuha ka ng shift, 40 hours plus overtime, iba yung sweldo mo. Kung 38 hours ka lang or 20 hours ka lang part-time, iba pa rin sweldo mo. So, it depends on the time versus your output. Yan. Ang pros ng salaried, okay ka, sure ka na meron kang sweldo at the end of meron kang sweldo, di ba? Sure ka.
No matter what.
No matter what, may sweldo ka. No matter what, kahit wala kang ginawa, may sweldo ka. Salaried, hourly, kapag wala kang trabaho, hindi ka nakakuha ng shift, wala kang pera. Ganon. Kasi hindi ka nagtrabaho, hindi ka nag-clock in. Ganon. Yun yung cons nun. Pros,
na very similar sa freelance life yan, 'di ba? Na parang kung hindi ka nag-work, wala kang racket, wala kang as opposed to salaried ka. Kahit wala kang output minsan, kahit tumunga ka lang, nag-Facebook ka lang sa office, bayad ka.
Exactly. Kahit nag-shopping ka lang, ganyan, sa computer mo, bayad ka pa rin. Diba? Tapos, ang pros naman, pag hourly, kapag nag-overtime ka, paid ka. Paid ka ng overtime pay. So, say for example, ang regular pay mo, $21. Ang overtime pay mo, $28. Kasi overtime pay, I believe, is regular pay plus half of your regular pay. Ganon. So, mas malaki. Ganon. So, okay yun. Kasi nag-overtime ka, bayad ka pa rin. Mas malaki pa bayad mo. Diba? Sa salaried, kahit na, ang pros naman sa salaried, ang cons naman sa salaried, hindi ka bayad. Kahit na mag-overtime ka. Kahit na mag-add ka ng, gumawa ng until 11 p.m., hindi ka bayad. Kahit na nagpakabayani ka, hindi ka pa rin bayad. Hindi ka bayad.
Parang si Matt nung nag-uumpisa pa siya.
Okay. Ganun ako, nung umpisa. Nung umpisa ako nagtrabaho sa corporate life, sabi ko, kasi I worked first as a recruiting coordinator. Sabi ko, yes, ganyan. Mag-i-email ako ng mga candidates hanggang 9 p.m., ganyan. Tapos na-realize ko, teka, ba't ako napapagod? Bakit ako napupuyat? Tapos, hindi rin naman sasagot yung candidate until the next morning. Bakit ako mag-send out ng email at the end of the night? You know, so I thought about it. So, natuto ako. I worked smarter. I learned to work smarter. Versus working longer. I think that's very important.
Oh, may question ako niyan kay Matt and kay August kasi parang syempre iba nga yung culture, work culture dito sa Philippines. Pero quickly ko lang i-share itong comment ni Tita Ayan. Hi Tita Ayan, you're watching. HR din si Tita Ayan and recruiter. So, ang ganda ng insight niya. There are 3 things I tell my staff when they go beyond their time, go beyond time. 1, something needs to change on the efficiency of your ways of working. 2, our workload is so heavy and we need to check if this is seasonal or we need additional headcount. 3, our process need to change. They need to reflect and then tell me so I know how to help them better as their manager. 'Di ba sana lahat ng boss ganyan? 'Di ba? Kasi actually 'di ba parang 'yun, parang it should be a partnership, a collaboration, an open conversation between an employee and an employer. So my question for Matt in August is 'di ba yan nag-share si Ali nung yun nga kasi sa kanila tingnan mo talagang clear yung ano oh eto bayad ka dito, ito ang pinote in mo na work, so ito yung output mo and stuff like that. So in your opinion, kasi eventually may feeling ako that there's going to be a shift in the workforce, not just because of the pandemic, but because pre-pandemic, meron na talagang mga hindi magagandang practices sa workplace na kailangan nang i-update. In your opinion, anong mas okay sa inyo? Output-based, regardless kung how many hours or kung pumasok man sa work, nag-time in, nag-time out, ganyan. Or yung tradition, or parang there's still, I don't know, there's still beauty and the traditional way of doing things like babantayan ka ng boss mo or yung time in, time out, kailangan maka 8 hours ka. Kasi di ba minsan, what if the employee can actually finish his work in 4 hours? Or what if he doesn't go to work? Kunwari, di ba? He doesn't go to work for the next 5 days, but magulat ka, nandyan yung output. So, anong preference nyo kung kayo masusunod? Or moving forward sa workforce, ano yung suggestion? August, mauna ka.
Sige. Mag-a-add lang din ako kasi coming from yung experience ko din sa mall, marketing and also sa cinema, parang I agree na meron talagang mga tao na hindi nagiging productive, no? And cause yun ng pag-overtime nila. Pero magugulat ka, like for example, our janitors, yung mga magigiting natin ng mga staff, they need overtime. It's because sobrang baba ng pay sa kanila. So, if merong opportunity for them to do overtime, they are willing to do it. Talagang sila pa yung lalapit sa'yo at maghahanap na parang, sir, baka naman pwedeng mag-overtime ako sa ganyan, sumama ako sa later. So, parang, it's because also of their wages, no? Hindi kaya na i-provide sa mga families nila yung kinikita nila nang hindi sila nag-overtime. It's because nga, di ba, mas mataas ang bayad sa kanila sa overtime. And also, sometimes din, nagiging cost din ng overtime is because hindi complete ang manpower deployment. So, habang nade-delay yung replacement doon sa nag-resign or pumalit, walang choice kundi mapapasa siya doon sa immediate staff within the department. So, instead na ginagawa lang niya yung job niya na as hired siya, kumbaga as a support doon sa kanilang department, no, habang nag-aantay sila ng replacement, nasa-shoulder niya din yung task and responsibilities nung umalis, no, na staff. So, kumbaga yun yung mga sa overtime. So, coming from that, doon sa question mo, I think for the officer level, manager up, kayang-kaya yon na yung salary system, no? Kasi yun nga, na-mention nga ni Allie kanina na it can be evaluated mid-month, ganyan. And usually talaga it's based on the output for those types of jobs, no, of level, kumbaga. But for our rank and file, no, yung mga entry level, the janitors, yung mga staff na, alam mo yun, hindi ganon kataas yung posisyon sa isang kumpanya, babalik pa rin siya doon sa traditional na retail kasi hindi sila namomonitor sa sobrang dami nila, no? Hindi sila namomonitor ng agency or yung mismong supervisor, lahat. And yung output nila is a day-to-day task. So hindi siya kumbaga hindi siya kumakagat or hindi siya tumatagal per month. Parang everyday yun ang trabaho nila at ginagawa nila. So, I think, yeah, based on siguro the levels, pero I agree also, kailangan din magkaroon ng change to like sa Philippine setup and considering also the change in our situation.
Oo. So, ang sinasabi ni August, wag daw kayong privilege. Privilege daw masyado yung mga opinion natin. Look beyond yourselves, guys. Kasi yung mga, nasa laylayan nga. Tsaka,
Gusto
kung
ko
baka nasa laylayan naman ako, kala mo naman nakakaangat-angat tayo. Charing. Pero yon, I must agree. And actually, what you're trying to say din, August, is, di ba, more than just deciding ano yung appropriate, kung output-based or whatnot, ganyan. It's really, there's something that needs to change in the system in general.
Can
Diba?
I just say, sorry, can I
Mm-mm.
just say, guys, I think yung salaried versus hourly pay, it's different for every industry. So I think salaried is better for corporate jobs, for corporate, for those na yung sa corporate, nasa office setting. Yung hourly, it's better for retail jobs. Kasi, 'di ba, at least bayad ka every action mo, 'di ba?
Yes.
On the dot ka. 'Di ba? Kasi lalo na sa mga physical work, 'di ba? So you get paid every time that you do something. I think it's better for retail.
Mm-mm.
'Di ba?
Tsaka Ali, siya, feeling ko even sa creative industries, parang kung kunwari freelance ka versus in-house ka kunwari in an advertising or creative or media company, 'di ba, na parang kung salaried ka dun sa mga in-house na yon versus sa a freelance copywriter or art director, 'di ba, or graphic designer na kung pipiliin yan magsipag ng 10 racket in a month, tapos pwede pa niyang laruin. Depende dun yung fee niya, yung kanyang talent fee based dun sa kanyang output, kung gaano ba kasimple yung design, gaano ba ka-complex, ilan ba yung word count. So parang medyo mas may chance kang mas mapalaki yung iyong income. So iba-iba nga siya depending sa trabaho. Depending on the work. Tama. Ayun.
Right.
Ikaw, Matt.
Yeah, ako, looking inward, syempre, gusto ko rin sana output-based. But that only is if I were to make a choice or if I were the sole, recipient of this system. Pero tama rin sinabi ni August na parang we also have to look outwards na parang sino ba yung mga apektado pagka you make a change. But one thing is for sure, we need to make a change. Meron akong nabasa na article. Actually, it's from TikTok. Tapos na-lead ako sa article talking about how the 40-hour work week is now outdated. Basically, ang sinasabi nitong article na to is yung 40-hour work week. So, if i-divide natin siya sa what do you call this? 5 days. It's the usual 8 hours a day, diba? But outdated na daw siya. The reason why it's outdated is because it originated from the 1900s, made by the Ford company, the car manufacturer.
So Industrial Revolution siya.
Yes. And the reason why it's outdated na is because ginawa siya nung panahon wherein, medyo sexist to pero ginawa siya nung panahon wherein females are expected to be in the homes, tending to the kids, cooking dinner, doing the laundry, etc., etc. And it was during that time when, Industrial Revolution, applicable siya sa trabaho ng mga factory workers or yung mga repetitive. So meaning you focus only on one task every single day. So ngayon na 2021 na, 'di ba? Marami ng tools. Una-una marami na nagbago. And then marami ng tools to help you with your job. Nabago na yung nature of work. Iba-ibang nature na siya. Hindi na lang siya factory work. Yung mga babae or both couples, wala na sa bahay. They're all, working.
Yep.
Hindi na uso yung confined ka sa box na yon na babae nasa bahay, lalaki lang mag-work. And most importantly, 'di ba? Yun nga, hindi na siya tulad nung 1900s. So that's why ine-explore na or dapat there has to be more talks about, rediscovering, revisiting the 40-hour work week, and maybe turning it into a 4-day work week, or
Mhm.
whatever kind of evolution na pwedeng gawin, depending sa nature ng trabaho, depending sa skills ng tao. So that's what I believe in.
Mm.
Yes. And Matt, 'di ba, parang ano nga parang I have a feeling na I've been reading through these articles sa Harvard Business Review ata or basta sa mga publications na to na parang sinasabi na companies have to prepare for hybrid work kasi even though COVID will not go away completely na naman, it's gonna be part of life, but kumbaga kapag medyo humupa na siya, alam mo yung level na ano na siya, hindi na siya pandemic, endemic na lang siya, 'di ba? So they have to ask may mga sinasabi na you have to ask your employees kung preference mo ba na online and papasok or ano, pero parang kasi meron din namang preferred na hindi mag-work from home, ganyan. So parang
Right.
ako talaga namang because of the circumstances today, talaga namang hindi mo pwedeng hindi na siya pag-usapan, no? And at the same time, medyo sad din for me kasi it took a pandemic for us to take stock. 'Di ba? When we could have done all these innovations prior. Like itong work from home, ang dami nga ngayon, naku, magkakaroon tayo ng ganyang next episode. Yung mga hindi marunong sa work from home. Work from home should be a novel idea. Diba? It should be an innovation.
Parang blurred na yung overtime ngayon kasi mag-work from home na. So parang no one is actually wala silang pake, no, kung naka-ano ka na, kung naka-off na yung computer mo or what, kasi you can easily be contacted through Viber. So parang kahit
parang pagmamay-ari ka nila bigla, no?
Oo, categorize din sa overtime. Pero kinokontak ka pa rin nila for urgent concerns outside of the 8 hour, diba? So,
Yes.
Na super nakaka-trauma na yung tunog ng Viber.
Correct.
Sa akin, Slack, yung Slack notification. Pag may narinig lang ako na yung ping ng Slack, may PTSD na ako. Wala, meron biglang, ano yun? Anong kailangan ka? Kahit na rest ako. For example, I don't know, parang nung pag nagbi-meeting kami sa Hiraya Media, I don't know who it was, I think it was Danny, na meron siyang ping from Slack. Sabi ko, teka, akin ba yun? Kahit na Saturday sa akin. Teka, akin ba yun? May PTSD na ako. Pero going on the same strain from August, nabublur yung lines, but also at the same time, I like the work from home kasi it shows na hindi naman natin kailangan ng 8 hours to complete a job. 'Di ba? Sa akin, personally, sana hindi nanonood. Tagalog naman ako sa hindi nanonood ang boss. Sa akin, napatunayan ko na I don't need the 8-hour work week or to complete the task kasi 4 hours lang nagagawa ko and the rest is for Hiraya Media. Kaya nga nabuhay ang Hiraya Media kasi from work from home eh. Kasi I had this time. You know, and I think that's very important for us kasi kung 8 hours, if we stick to 8 hours, yun lang yung buhay mo. So saan mo pa ipapasok social life mo? Saan mo pa ipapasok hobbies mo? Saan mo pa ipapasok yung other ideas mo? 'Di ba? So I think it's 'di ba? So parang I think it's being work from home, yeah, it's tiring, yeah, it's exhausting sometimes kasi parang you see the same things over and over again. You talk to people on Zoom versus like face-to-face. Other people would like to have a meeting face-to-face, diba? And then some people would rather do Zoom. Tapos parang ako, ang travel ko lang from living room to bedroom, diba? Or siguro sa kitchen, diba? It's tiring, it's exhausting, but at the same time, it gives you more freedom to do whatever you want, especially for those who work salary jobs because hindi masyado kang hindi focused sa yung boss mo. Diba? At the end of the day, just give me this, just give me what I wanted you to do, and then you're done. Ganon. I think that's the advantage of it.
Actually, Pecho de Peligro life hack to. I-share ko. Pero maldita life hack to, guys. Hindi ko sinasabing lahat kayo ma-apply nyo to. Kasi maldita kasi ako. So, so kaya ako siya na-apply. But at the same time, somehow, nabago niya yung life ko. Or, it's really about, it's about setting boundaries dun sa messaging apps because of the work from home setup. Even bago ako mag-freelance and all and enter the Hiraya Media, medyo pinapractice ko na siya. For a time, napuno yung phone ko ng di ba minsan pag nag-update sa iPhone, napupuno siya, ganyan, memories mo, tapos nadayo mong screenshot, videos, ganyan. So, parang delete ako, tapos parang napagod ako kaka-delete, ganyan, na parang ang dami kasing photos, travel photos na ayaw mo i-delete, ganyan. So, parang sabi ko, magde-delete na lang ako ng apps. Tapos I actually tried deleting kasi sabi ko, dinelete ko yung Viber ko, yung Telegram. Basta nag-delete ako ng messaging apps kasi pati Zoom kasi ayoko naman nag-Zoom sa phone eh. Sabi ko, it doesn't make sense. Meron ka na sa Viber, meron ka ng Viber at Telegram sa laptop ko na lagi naman bukas yung laptop ko kapag nagsusulat ako or something, ganyan. Bakit pati sa phone? Sabi ko, ayoko na, ganyan. So, messenger lang ang i-retain ko. So, yun lang yung i-retain ko. Tapos, I realized na parang ang naging behavior ko ngayon sa messaging apps was pag oras na ng trabaho, doon ko siya bubuksan. Para siyang email. So, lahat, sige, kahit taddarin niyo ako ng messages, babasahin ko. Pero sabi, diba, maybe you'll ask me, paano pag urgent? Ang stand ko sa urgent is, kung urgent talaga yan, di tawagan mo ko. Pero sampalin kita talaga kapag tumawag ka, tapos di urgent, So, paano kita masasampal, work distance, tayo. Pero parang, ang stand ko is talagang tatawag, malalaman ko naman kapag urgent, kunwari, pag work kami ni Ali. Ali is not someone who would call me or would, parang gagalgalin ako on things. Pero kapag kunwari, tumawag siya or parang nag-message na talaga yan sa Instagram ko, yung pumunta na siya sa personal account mo, okay, this is urgent. So, alam ko. Pero kung naantay, kunwari, natulog ako, nagising ako, nakapagkape ako, nagantay yung mga messages, walang namatay, di ba, walang nasagasaan,
Exactly.
walang nagutom, hindi naman nagsara yung kumpanya, guys,
Exactly.
di ba? But again, that's me being the maldita that I am. So, I hope you get to become maldita in the future.
No.
You work on that.
No, but I totally agree. If it's not life or death, you can do it the next day.
Yeah, di ba?
Oo.
There are things that can wait. Parang, di ba? Parang,
Exactly.
bawa ka,
sa amin, if it does not affect the business meaning the recruiting pipeline or, anything HR or anything that affects the actual, the business, pwede mo siyang pagpaliban. Kasi wala namang mamamatay wala rin namang hindi. At sa amin kasi ang batayan, pag hindi natin nakuha tong candidate na to, pag biglang nag-fall through yung offer, yun, critical yun. Pero
Okay.
kapag hindi, we can, hindi naman masyadong importanteng candidate na to or we still have time before we actually, offer the candidate a job, then, you can do it the next day. Ganun parate. You can always do it the next day. Huwag kang masyadong kung hindi ka na, wala na mamamatay. Huwag kang masyado. Oo.
And siguro as a boss din, kunwari if you're a supervisor or a manager, parang respeto din sa boundaries kasi there are employees who are actually
Absolutely.
parents. Diba? May
Yeah.
work from home, diba? Parents. Go ahead, Matt.
Sorry to cut you, host.
Go.
But if I may add, actually, talaga, ideal talaga na ganon. I wish I could do the same. Just to siguro offer a different perspective. I mean, I've been wanting to do that, but the thing is, I think the hardest to change in a company is its culture.
Agree.
I say that
Agree.
because no matter how much I despise, checking my messages beyond work hours, my peers won't simply let me do that because parang while like sila kasi may workflow sila and sometimes yung parang na blur ng work from home yung work hour, so sometimes 11 p.m. sila buhay, ako 8 p.m. pa lang inaantok na ako, so kailangan ko din parang may instances na kailangan ko rin i-check. And I think ngayong work from home, we've developed this trauma about missing your messages. So, mayroon kang impulse to check that happened to me. May impulse ka to check your Viber or, your phone. Kahit parang nandyan lang siya sa tabi na beyond work hours na. Because simply, the company that you're with or you're affiliated with, simply, hindi sila ganon klase ng tao magtrabaho. But
Agree.
like, wala naman talagang mali na mag-set ng boundaries. It's just that ang hirap for some people. I guess some of our viewers would also, relate to that because that really happens.
Yes.
Seryoso.
Sa phone mo, yung hindi ka mapakali na hindi siya buksan.
Yeah.
Agree.
Pero
Minsan
yun,
nung work
parang
from home, nung work from home,
Go
kunyari maliligo lang ako, di ba? Minsan dadalhin ko yung phone ko sa sa banyo. Kasi, di ba? Kasi, di ba, baka ma-miss mo yung text ng boss mo, Slack ng boss mo, gano'n. Tapos parang, personal time mo yun. Parang bakit? Gano'n. Parang,
and there were times,
it's really
nangyari
sad.
sa akin, the only time that I went to the bathroom, di ba, to do my thing, doon pa ako minention sa Viber na parang nakaka-bad trip naman.
Oo,
Buong
nice
oras
timing.
nandun lang. Di ba? Na parang nakaka-trauma kasi. I don't know. I mean, syempre, they don't mean to traumatize us, but that's, the effect Parang ikaw rin na gusto mo makasagot ka kagad. That's what happens. So,
Pero I agree. It's culture. It's culture, and it's very hard to change. Lalo na kasi siguro sa amin it was a startup for the longest time, so we're very chill. So office plus Silicon Valley, it's very chill sa Silicon Valley kasi diba, some engineers actually come in 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Engineers magtatrabaho sila 11 papasok sila ng work 11 a.m. So culture talaga is very chill. So kami siguro kaya ganun kasi we started from that, and we can't, and we don't want to change it kasi sobrang kalma lang diba minsan.
Ako feeling ko nga two things siya Parang one, parang as an employee, 'di ba? Na parang you can if it's getting the best of you, alam mo 'yon, and it's affecting your mental health, you have to do something about it, 'di ba? Parang the stress of a notification of a messaging app, 'di ba? Na parang umabot ako dati na parang gusto ko talaga ipukul yung cellphone ko, and at gagawin ko yun kasi sanay ako, alam niyo yan, Matt and Ogo, sanay ako masiraan ng cellphone, 'di ba? Parang, alam mo parang ayoko, hindi ka baka magbura ako. Pero parang at some point talaga may time ako talaga, pero it took a while, 'di ba? Na yung tipong medyo tumapang ka na, may napatunayan ka na somehow, which is I don't encourage it kasi ibig sabihin ba nun kailangan may mapatunayan ng isang empleyado para respetuhin mo yung boundaries niya. That's not what I'm saying. Pero ang reality is it took a lot of courage eventually to stand up for yourself. Actually, para minsan pag may tatawag sa'yo, dati, pag may tatawag for example sa akin na boss or producer, ganyan, and for me, you should not be calling me because it's the wee hours or I'm already asleep, ganyan, I would really not answer it or bubuksan ko tapos papatayin ko. Pag inulit na bubuksan ko, papatayin ko. And then, the next day, wala namang reklamo. Pero pag nakarinig ako, I would say na parang, I would be honest na tulog na po or something. Kasi, just like what I said dun sa previous episode natin, yung first episode natin, parang, you also be mindful kung nagko-contribute ka sa pagpo-perpetuate ng isang bad behavior sa workplace. Diba?
Exactly.
So, pero at the same time, it's a systemic problem. So, feeling ko, the thing that we can do as of the moment is, if you are a young millennial right now or a young boss, diba? At diba, magkaroon ka ng opportunity to handle your own team and to handle your own department, be the change, diba? Be the change. And parang wag natin gayahin yung parang, kasi back in the day, pinahirapan kami, so dapat kayo din. No. Back in the day, yun na nga, noon yun. Baguhin mo, diba? So, kung ano man yung mga, if you are put in a position of power, authority, be mindful of that, diba? Maybe, diba, treat your employees better than you were treated. Diba?
Exactly.
Okay.
Break the cycle.
So, maraming mga nagko-comment dito, guys. Noted sa inyong mga comments. Di ko lang mapa-flash lahat kasi we have to go to the next archetype, okay? Ang next archetype natin ay, sige. Ito, naman, hindi naman siya masyadong negative for me. Not na ini-influence ko kayo. Pero, the next archetype is, Atapang atao, pero atalak. Okay, so, ayan, atapang atao, di atakbo, pero atalak. Okay, so sino ba itong mga employees na to? Ito yung mga employees na bayani sila in a sense that they speak out, diba? And they speak up for the team and then they don't just say yes to things na feeling nila mali. So ito yung mga talagang nagsasalita ng mga empleyado, diba? May tapang na gawin yon. So, sige, simulan ko na quickly. For me, ako parang feeling ko ganito ako. And parang feeling ko hero tong mga taong to kasi precisely, diba? It's a tough job but someone's gotta do it. Diba? So, you have to speak out when it's important and when it matters. But ako naman, ang word of caution ko is be prepared that, diba, parang you're gonna be unpopular, you know, you're gonna, parang may mga boss or may mga tao that would say things to you, diba? Pero at the end of the day, it's a matter of principyo and it's a matter of, you know, doing what's right. Kaya nga, speak up when it matters. Hindi yung speak up ka lang din, talak ka lang din ng talak. Ibang bagay naman yun. Reklamo lang ng reklamo.
Right.
So, pipiliin mo din yung battles mo, pero be prepared kasi there will be consequences, di ba? But at the end of the day, di ba, ako naniniwala kasi ako boldness or courage will get you to places eh. Parang ako personally, I'd rather na maging ayoko yung kahit as a supervisor before, ayoko din nung kikimi-kimi or hindi nagsasalitang empleyado. So, or ka-team, ganyan. So, I admire people who speak up and I've seen people's careers or were given breaks, 'di ba? Nag-soar yung career nila because they speak up, 'di ba? Kayo, guys, what do you think? Matt?
Yeah, ako din, I admire these kinds of people. I mean, I've been on a level wherein, of course, we all started somewhere and wala pa tayong bosses noon, so wala pa masyadong tapang, 'di ba? And suddenly we found our voice, we're more comfortable in, you know, making our voices heard. And yeah, these kinds of heroes are really admirable. However, I think ano din talaga siya eh, timing, 'di ba? Parang
Oh, nice. Oo.
especially if we're gonna talk about the differences in culture, I think Ali could shed some light on the western side, but here in the Philippines, parang mahal siya because yun nga eh, it's the way we were brought up. It's the way that we're not allowed to, you know, talk back to our parents or to the elderly. So I guess it also applies to, you know, the workplace. But of course, by all means, pagka ano ka na, yun nga, pagka may napatunayan ka na rin, because it's true naman eh, parang nahihiya ka pa talaga sa una, but eventually, magkakaroon ka ng guts.
August.
Yeah, for this one naman, speaking up in the work, parang I agree din kay Matt. Kasi pag-start, lalo na kung probationary ka, hindi ka pa regular, parang you need to control your mouth. Kasi ang goal mo is to be regularized. And something like that, they can easily kick you out. Diba? Kasi parang
Yes.
wala ka pang na-plan, kumbaga, na seats mo doon sa company. So, in a while, you will realize that you are valued already based din sa mga feedback na nakukuha mo. And then I think that's the time then na if you're ready to speak up, you speak up also. Tapos yung culture talaga, very prominent kumbaga dito sa Philippine setup. Kasi, for example, I'm lucky na I'm in a sales and marketing department. So my colleagues are very open, no, when speaking up, no, talking about issues within the department. Pero we never put ourselves, no, or speak up for others, no, from other department. Na ang thinking natin or ang understanding namin is hindi namin siya work, hindi kami bayad for that type of job. So hindi kami mangingialam. But you yourself, you feel na parang it's it's immoral, parang hindi siya nire-respeto ng boss niya, and you see that in the workplace, no, on how they treat those colleagues na hindi na under sa department mo. But since your understanding is hindi mo yon trabaho, hindi mo yon ka-department, no? And iba yung boss nila doon sa boss mo. You're not directly connected to him or her. So you tend just to shut up for that person. And minsan, ang gagawin mo pa is, ikaw pa yung magbibigay ng advice sa kanya na you know for a fact that he or she cannot do it on his or her own at the moment. So parang, yes, I'm guilty of that na I can speak up for myself and I'm very lucky with the team na experience ko na nakasama ko. But it's just unfortunate na hindi ko kaya na mag-speak up for a specific person, lalo na kung hindi ko naman yung boss niya or hindi ko alam kung ano yung nangyayari doon sa setup.
Oo. Right. Ali, ako yan, tama si Mate, parang you can give a different perspective kasi sa Western culture, 'di ba? Parang
Right.
iba siya. I mean, parang feeling ko, am I right to assume na uso ang speaking up sa workplace?
In a way, pareho siya na if you're, let's say it's an NBA team, right? If you're a rookie, wala ka pang ano, 'di ba? Wala ka pang boses kasi rookie ka, ano ba bang alam mo sa buhay, 'di ba? Hindi ka pa naman experience. Pag vet ka, yeah, go ahead, go for it. And also pero at the same time, you're encouraged to speak up for yourself. But hindi ka naman encouraged to speak up for other people. You speak up for yourself. Personally, sa office namin, we have this phrase na it says, disagree and commit. So, you're encouraged to disagree to the opinions, but you have to commit. Huwag kang masisway. Kung yun ang tingin mong tama, go for it. Ganon. But we always have to be the, we always have to make sure that we are right. That meron kang, you have evidence to back up your claims, your speaking up. Hindi ba magdadada ka lang, tapos wala ka naman palang, evidence, or wala ka namang experience, or wala ka namang narinig, or wala ka namang first-hand experience, tapos nagko-complain ka, or, you're speaking up. Para saan pa? For what,
Tsaka siguro baka it's also in the manner of how you speak up, 'di ba? Importante din 'yun kasi pwedeng ang ganda ng sasabihin mo pero the way you said it, 'di ba? There's always a better way of saying things, 'di
Exactly.
ba? It defeats the purpose of you speaking up kung medyo hindi maganda yung pagkakasabi mo. Wait, quick shout out lang tayo sa co-founder ng Hiraya Media and part of our visuals team, si Chan. Hi Chan, nandito si
Yes.
Chan. Ayan, nagko-comment
Gising
siya.
na si Chan.
Hello. Gising na siya, nagkape ka na
Morning.
ba? Good morning. Nasa LA naman si Chan. Okay. Okay, sige, quick na basahin natin tong comment ni. Nakakatawa naman yung comment mo, Bernadette. Sumipsip ka muna sa management hangga't di ka pa regular
Pero
bago
totoo
ka
yan.
magsalita agad sa kanila.
Pero totoo yan.
Well, that's true. Naman.
Don't antagonize first. Kasi paano ka muna? Pa-cute ka muna. Tapos kapag
charm
trusted
ka muna.
Pag trusted ka na, yon, go. Pakita mo na totoo mong personality.
Oo.
Doesn't sorry. Yes.
Go ahead, August.
Kumbaga parang speaking up doesn't really mean din na magtataray ka kasi minsan matututunan mo rin on how to phrase it. Kumbaga hindi siya offensive doon sa kausap mo, especially kung boss yan or colleague. Parang matututo ka nun, I promise.
With the years of experience, matututo ka. Magagamay mo na yung boss mo.
That is something you don't learn inside the classroom, pero sa experience talaga maano mo siya. Ito si Ian, she shared, where I work every year, part of the pulse survey, na anonymous, is to ask what they feel. To ask they feel
if they
are free to speak their minds without fear of negative consequences. It helps shape how the culture of speaking up has become. But I guess super important also to know if the core values of the companies align with yours, and if it is practice, because you have to take out yourself from the equation. If it isn't, I super agree with this.
I agree.
Values. Mamaya puntahan natin yan. May ganyang archetype later. Okay. So for our next
Actually,
archetype,
sorry,
go Matt.
I don't mean to prolong the second
Mm.
archetype.
No,
Pero
go
I
ahead.
super agree with aim. You
Ayen.
would Ayen. Ayen.
Yes.
Super agree with you, Ayen, because I've also been with a company that does this. The pulse survey is very important. Basically, for those who don't know, it's a tool that employers or the company uses. I think siguro sa HR side siya, wherein there's an anonymous survey. Everyone is encouraged to answer, and then ipa-plot niya yung answers nyo on an axis. At least on our end, ang axis ay sustainability and impact. So,
Mm.
how do you feel about, the job that you're doing? Most of the time, you will see there, okay, this group, the impact is high, but the sustainability is low. And oftentimes, pag nandun ka sa part na yon ng quadrant, ibig sabihin, stress na yung mga tao kasi ang dami-daming deliverables, ang tight ng deadlines, hindi na siya sustainable, pero nagde-deliver sila. So what's the implication? Kumbaga, this pulse survey, pulse check is telling the HR or the company in general, how are your employees feeling? So it's important that, the company takes action. Otherwise, everyone will have a serious case of burnout.
Yep.
So, yun lang. Yun
Mm.
lang yung gusto kong sabihin.
Agree. Nice, nice. Oo. Matt August, si M, nag-comment. Shoutout niyo naman si M. Hi, M! Friend namin to. Okay, anyway, sabi ni M, ako lagi patanong yung way ng pagkontra. Yung questionin din niya yung sinabi niya, ganun. Ang ganda nun life hack yan patanong. Kumbaga parang binabalik mo sa kanya unconsciously or parang actually, pag question kasi, you're trying to engage the person to the conversation. Parang pag-isipan nga natin, parang inuupo nyo. Kunwari, tanongin mo, tanga ka? Ganon. So, realize niya, ay, shit, tanga ba ako? Tsare.
Wala yun.
Yung pala yung tanong, charot lang, huwag kayong gano'n, huwag niyo akong gayahin. Bad yun. Ayan. Okay, sige. Ang next archetype natin is, ano nga ba yung next archetype natin? Nakalimutan ako. Ay, hindi, ito. Matt, ikaw ang mag-introduce nito, ha? Kasi kahit sa'yo to galing.
Sure.
Galing to sa ating mga guests. So, etong hero archetype natin, yung third is si Yes Man. Yes Man. Nako, si Yes Man na dinaig si Superman at si Batman. So, bahala na si Yes Man. Ika nga. Sige nga, Matt, elaborate on this one.
Okay, my best. So si Yes Man ay yung type ng hero. Hero nga ba siya? But type siya ng hero sa workplace wherein hindi siya makano. Kaya siya tinawag na Yes Man. Sa lahat ng beck and call ng workmates, yes siya ng yes. Like, to a fault. Hindi na siya makahindi kahit may prior commitment siya. Pag may dumating na trabaho, this person will just say yes. And usually, 'di ba, anong dating sa atin noon? Very heroic yung deed. But for this person, what does this tell us? I guess ito yung isa sa mga prevalent na klase ng workplace hero archetypes because culture na rin ng mga Pilipino na so hard naman to say no. How do I say no to this trabaho to? Do they view me, if I say no, do they view me as someone is, not living up to being a good employee? So, yun yung basic definition ng yes man. I'm sure you guys understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, queen. Okay. August, naging yes man ka ba o never kang naging yes man or wala kang choice minsan kundi maging yes man?
Sorry, siguro nung first years ko of working, talagang yes man ako kasi parang you're hungry kasi to learn. So, kumbaga parang nag-start ka pa lang na maka-experience ng actual work, na parang it made sense na you want to try things, kumbaga, na maging part nun and makagain ng experience na magagamit mo din. Kasi parang nag-i-invest ka on yourself. So, kumbaga, unconsciously, you are giving yourself more tasks other than yung mismong job description mo. Kasi you're hungry to learn. Parang may energy ka pa, galing, excited ka pa, galing kang kaka-graduate pa lang, parang gusto mo matutunan agad lahat-lahat in a quick, kumbaga parang in a speed of time. Tapos doon ko na-realize, actually yun yung first resignation ko na parang I agreed to do all of these things, be a part of a committee of something na hindi naman part ng job ko, so it's an extra appointment to be part of those things, no, ng mga campaigns. Tapos doon ko na-realize na, shucks, hindi ko na kaya. Tapos maabot pa na parang nag-resign yung sa mismong office, yung kasama ko sa office na colleague ko. So, kumbaga, shinolder ko din yung tasks niya. And I had no choice kasi I realized, since I am a yes man, hindi magbabago yung culture. It's because ako yung nandun. Ako yung nag-yes. So, mas-stop lang siya if I leave it or if I leave my position. Kasi during that time, hindi pa ako ganon ka aware, no, of saying no, on how to say no, no, how to casually say no and not hurt anyone. So, yun. Tapos, nung sa manager experience ko naman, alam ko na on when to say no and when to say yes. Na I'm very definite na of myself, na from the training and everything. And unfortunately, the culture of the company that I've been part of, no, nung time na ready na ako mag-say no, they find it, kumbaga parang off. Kasi ang culture nila is lambing. Maglalambing sa'yo para mag-say yes ka. Eh ako, wala na eh. Yun na ako doon. So parang ako, no. Kasi hindi yung job ng staff ko or...
Tsaka may ganun nga, no? Yung parang palambing naman. August palambing.
Hindi ko man pwede naman ganyan.
Puta ka.
Magugulat ka pa minsan. Ayayain ka sa lunch, tapos ang ending lang lunch, maghihingi ng favor sa'yo. Alam mo yun? Eh ako, hindi ko na lunch, pero no. Tapos expect mo na din na it's yung culture mo or yung understanding mo of saying no doesn't necessarily transcend the same to them, no? Kumbaga baka hindi sila sanay na hindi umi-effect yung lambing nila, di ba? Yung pa-lunch nila or pa-dinner. So expect it, pero just be objective in also and say no. If you think naman na it makes sense to say no, then go ahead. Pero kung kaya naman, then why not say yes pa? Yun lang.
Mm-mm. Oo. Actually, parang feeling ko with the yes man, parang it's always associated with, naalala ko yung sinabi ni Oprah about this, the disease to please. Parang she in one interview, she said that she had the disease to please. Pero na-cure niya yon by actually assessing kung ano yung mga yes. Kasi in-assess niya lahat ng mga bagay na nag-yes siya, she doesn't really agree with, or parang, but she just said yes to it just because she was so afraid. She was so afraid that they would think that she's not a good person, she's not a nice person. And diba, sometimes when we say no, we defend it. There's always parang we're always compelled to justify ba tayo nag-yes or nag-no. Pero one mentor once told me before na, so parang, nung una ko siyang narinig, di siya masyado nag-make sense, pero eventually nag-make sense siya. Ang ganda-ganda na sinabi niya, we are defined by the things we say no to. Parang, oo nga, no? Diba? Parang as much as sometimes a yes is valuable, we are also defined by the things we say no to. It says a lot about who we are. Na kapag nagawa mo mag-no sa isang bagay, diba? It says a lot about you. And yun, parang, saan nanggagaling yung yes? Nanggagaling ba yung yes sa gusto mo lang siya i-please? Or gusto mo lang iparamdam sa kanya, oh, mabait ako. Parang ganun. Or talagang it's a genuine yes. Diba? You want to add up to that, Ali?
Yes, some people naman, it's not even, sa akin, it's not even about pleasing. Some of them walang choice. Diba? Kasi parang, number one, if you're entry level, you can't say no at all kasi you feel intimidated by your superiors, diba? Say, for example, ako, I was asked to be in a meeting with somebody. He's mataas, medyo mataas siya. So versus me, syempre, diba? I couldn't say no to it, right? So he's like, let's go. Okay, can I talk to you for like 15 minutes? Ganyan. Sabi ko, I was like, sure, I have 15 minutes again. Tapos it turned into a 45 minutes. Diba? To a 45 minutes na, to be honest with you, hindi naman talaga, I don't know why he was talking to me because he's not my direct supervisor. He's like, I think he was a head for engineering or something. I don't know. I said yes kasi, I mean, it's a 15 minutes and he's a superior, diba? So I couldn't say no to it. So we have to also take that in consideration, yung hierarchy, yung power hierarchy. Diba? Kasi sometimes some people couldn't just say no.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wanna add to that.
Go.
I think it's very important that we become very strategic yes men. Strategic because, obviously you can't say no to all of these things.
Oh, yep.
But you also need to know to whom you should say yes
say
to.
yes to. Agree.
Yeah. Kasi parang, what if it's your VP of it's the VP of the company that asks for a favor? Would you, I mean, do you have the guts to really say no to that person?
Exactly.
Diba? And parang use it to your advantage na lang. Of course, this is easier said than done. And I wish I could have applied this to my, to my earlier years at work. Pero I think it also pays to say yes to things that would, help you
Agree.
along
in
the
your
way.
career. Yes. I super agree. That's why I said yes rin dun sa meeting na yon, even though hindi ko siya direct supervisor. Kasi I thought na it would be helpful for me, not only for my career, but also for my tasks or my deliverables to be connected to him or para maging connect o para makausap ko siya. Diba? So I think it would be ganun yung strategy ko. So you really have to say yes to the right people.
Right.
Yes.
Ako may
And
add-
again, go August.
Doon sa sinabi kasi ni Matt, parang tama yun kasi pero for you then, para sa mga nag-work din, you need to know then the benefit then na makukuha mo for that additional work. Parang kahit ano pa yung sabihin nila na reason kung bakit kailangan mong mag-yes doon, na kung ano yung matututunan mo doon or madedevelop mo doon. Parang don't initially agree with it. Parang you need to know also kung ano yung gusto mo ring matutunan or yung gusto mo ding kung ano yung sa tingin mo yung matutulong doon. Kasi it can be kumbaga parang they have an objective for you to say yes. That's why they will tell those things, di ba? Pero you yourself also should know kung ano rin yung benefit nun sa'yo in a way na kesa additional lang you know for a fact na advantageous yun sa'yo kumbaga, di ba?
Yes. Okay. Sige. In a while kasi 8:30 na sa San Francisco and Ali has to go. But before she leaves,
8 to 5 job.
Bago siya pumunta sa kanyang to work at iwan tayo with the other archetypes. Ito, I just have to quickly bring up na since nandito si Ali and she's overseas. Yung 'di ba, super embedded sa Pinoy culture kasi yung pag-yes. Pero parang I've heard from friends overseas din na nagiging cause din siya ng discrimination at pag-abuso sa mga Pilipino kasi noon ang Pinoy parang sa Middle East for instance, para nagkwento sa akin yung mga friends ko doon na parang noon ng mga Pinoy na matiisin at gagawin ng lahat kahit na lesser yung pay. So nakakatipid sila sa Pilipino at in a very efficient way pa. So parang malalaman na lang nila na parang yung puti, ito yung sahod, same job description, same position, pero parang dahil nga yes man ang mga Pinoy, ganyan, nagiging cause siya ng abuse. And kaya ang sinasabi nila, parang actually, sa ibang bansa, yung mga Pilipino, mas nagsispeak out at mas nag-no, kasi precisely, binabago nila yon. 'Di ba? Na parang kasi pag nag-yes sila na nag-yes, ipa-perpetuate nila yung ganong tingin sa mga Pilipino and yung abuse sa mga kapwa nila Pilipino. So talagang nagugulat ako sa mga kwento nila na parang may mga OFW na sumasagot sila sa employer nila, especially pag abusive talaga. Kasi it's actually a matter of survival. And true enough, nagpi-pay off naman daw kasi pag nakikita nilang umaalma na yung Pinoy o pumapalag na, tumitino si employer. Hindi naman yung level na talagang aalisin ka or something ganyan. In fairness daw, talagang parang nagugulat na, okay, hindi pala siya paapi. Kasi turns out, yung ibang lahi, they would fight for their rights and they would fight for what they think is right for them. 'Di ba? So, siguro, you don't have to be an OFW to do that. That's started here sa yung culture natin sa Pinas, 'di ba, na in general, yung pag yes at pag no, i-normalize natin na okay lang yun. And tayo din, pag naka-receive din tayo ng no from other people, let's respect that. I mean, 'di ba? Two-way siya eh.
Absolutely. Yep. Sa amin, in my experience, of course, given that America is very diverse, there will always be a racial disparity, a money or sweldo disparity between races, diba? And of course, most white people, most Caucasian people would actually really fight na, hey, you're not paying me the right salary, you know. And most of us, from my experience, Asian people don't know how to actually hindi nila kayang makipag-ano na sweldo. Ang tawag doon, I don't know, it's they can't negotiate. Negotiate their salary. Kasi minsan nahihiya kasi nga culture natin yun, 'di ba? I think we have to really change that culture.
Yes.
Dito for sure may disparity talaga. And ako personally, tsaka yung sa mga ganun, personally, ako nagawa ko na yun sa boss ko kasi sabi niya, Allie, can you make a newsletter for the company, ganyan. Tapos sabi ko, on top talaga, parang monthly newsletter, I have to send out a monthly newsletter. Sinabi ko talaga sa boss ko, on top of everything else, I don't think I would be able to handle it. Tapos yung boss ko sabi niya, okay, that's fine. Binigay niya sa iba, done. Ganun lang yun. Diba? It's very advantageous for us kasi less trabaho, of course. Diba? But also you stood up for yourself na mafa-find out ng boss mo na, hindi pala siya kalad-karin lang na kahit saan mo ilagay. Oo, diba? I think yun yung one thing na we really have to learn as Filipinos is to say no and stand up for yourself. No to learn our value. Because we're very hardworking people, right? So you have they have to realize that they have to pay for that hard work.
Yes. Amen to that. Okay. And on that note, Ali, happy National Heroes Day sa mga kababayan mo na nandito sa Pilipinas at sa inyo ding mga Asian Filipino-Americans dyan. Holiday natin tong lahat kahit may pasok kayo.
Yes.
Dyan. So, salamat.
Holiday din namin
so
next month. Holiday namin this weekend, Labor Day. So, pasok rin. Labor Day.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Thank you to everyone who's watching.
Thank you, Ali.
Nice meeting, guys.
Thank you, Ali. Okay, ingat. Ayan, okay. So, before we move on to the next archetype, quick lang tayo magbasa ng mga comments dito. Ito ang interesting nito from Jumar. Sana patayuan ng rebulto yung mga yes man. Based on experience pa, yung mga yes man, nag-yes lang sa harap ng boss or superiors, pero ipapasa rin naman yung work. Grabing coops naman to, pero sa kanila pa rin ang credit. Tapos yung mga totoong nagde-deliver pero atapang-atao di kini-credit kasi ayaw nila na mga kumakabig paminsan-minsan kahit pa reasonable. Okay. So parang yung yes man pasa load. So siya yung credit pero yung mga atapang-atao na kinaiinisan nga. Nako, sila pa yung na-antagonize. Mali yan. Sampalin mo yan, Jumar. Harap mo sa akin yan. Sorry. Okay, eto si Jinx. Hi, Jinx. Ito ang comment niya. Always saying yes is a form of seeking discomfort. You always have to take the good with the bad. Say yes to things na may value and impact. If hindi bida-bida ang dating, if hindi bida-bida ang dating mo, tsareng. Okay. In fairness, 'di ba? Parang hindi niya sinasabi na actually inaamin niya na minsan pag nag-yes ka, yun nga, parang hindi siya absolutely na comfortable for you. Pero yun nga, yung sinabi kanina ni August, may mga bagay na, oh, is there something I can learn from this, 'di ba? Meron bang advantage tong yes na to? So, that's a good point as well. Okay. So, at pinsan mo 'to, Matt, si Jinx. Hi! Hi, pinsan! Hi, insan!
Pinsan.
Thank you so much for watching. Okay. So, ang next archetype natin, si August naman nag-provide dito. May entry din si August, no?
Totoo ba?
So, August, i-explain mo naman sa amin, the next archetype is the good soldier. Naku, ang dami niyan. So, ano to, August? Explain further.
Yeah, so the good soldier, parang ang pagkakaintindi ko kasi niyan is, kumbaga you are in a position sa job mo, no, na minsan may mga kailangan kang gawin sa job na hindi aligned sa morals mo or sa values. And doon nagkakaroon ng parang actually wala kang choice eh. It's part of your job, so you need to do it and to set aside your values and hopefully ma-heal mo yung sarili mo for that situation, kumbaga.
Okay. Meron ka bang specific parang project or
Sige.
anecdote or time na parang na-challenge yun and 'di ba? At na-experience mo
bigay
na
ako
parang
ng-
I have to be a good soldier.
Bigay ako ng isa na easy tsaka isang hard. So sa easy, for example, sa events management, ako kasi, ang nakukuha ko doon, kaya gustong-gusto ko yung event management, is you're creating an experience for the attendees, for the participants, na hopefully is memorable sa kanila. So for example, sa mall setup, so it's Mother's Day. So syempre gusto mo ng magandang memorable experience yung mga customers with their mother. Yun yung goal ko. That's why I was creating programs, no, activities, events. But unfortunately, for the mall business, ang tinitingnan doon is the numbers, the sales, no? Parang hindi ka pwedeng mag-spend for a specific event without the counterpart of a sales-generated type of initiative. So, kumbaga, hindi nila ma-fully experience yung gusto mong gawin doon sa parang booth mo or sa event mo kung hindi sila nag-purchase. So, parang sa'yo, ang goal mo lang is to create parang a memorable experience for your customers. But since your job entails you to put a sales-driven initiative in the event that you're doing, so parang, well, may isip mo na parang i-exploit mo sila pero isi-set aside mo yon kasi parang it's a compromise eh, na you're doing this and at the same time the company gave you the opportunity to do this. So, you need to also give in a way. Pero yung healing mo naman, kasi kapag continuous na siyang nangyayari, so doon na parang medyo nade-destroy ka. And then the other hard part for the good soldier is, siguro, ewan ko lang kung makaka-relate yung iba, pero ito, very unforgettable din to sa akin kasi I was given an opportunity to be a manager when I was in an officer position. And during that time, nag-transfer ako ng branch. So, nagpaalam ako, ganyan. So, nakausap ko na yung head doon sa branch, ganyan, everything. And parang my immediate supervisor mentioned na they are planning to put me as a manager doon sa current branch na kung saan ako officer. Pero under observation lang. So, parang it's a verbal agreement, tapos under observation. Na parang sabi ko, di ba yun yung purpose ng pagiging probationer? Well, anyway, since I trust my boss, we had a good relationship then, working relationship. So yeah, sure, why not? Verbal. Alam mo kung ano nag-change doon sa work ko? Kasi walang manager doon eh. So officer in charge. Wala nag-change sa work ko. Same pa rin kung ano yung sino-shoulder ko na job ng manager. The only difference that they made me to do was to change how I wear. Yung attire ko, yung pagsusuklay ko, no? Pinagsuot ako ng mga long sleeves, ganyan. Kasi may uniform pag officer, pero pag manager, wala. So, yun lang yung nagbago sa job ko. And then 3 months yon. Tapos nag-follow up yung branch na nag-invite sa akin for the management position. Parang sabi niya, uy, itutuloy mo pa ba? Ganyan. Parang sabi ko, I'm sorry, pero under observation pa ako. That's the last month na, kumbaga, dun sa 3 months of o sige, may sasabihin ako sa'yo. Close ko yung nanda sa branch. Ano yun? Sabi niya, there was never a plan for you to be the manager there. So parang ang understanding ko, parang they were parang dragging the time na magstay ako doon kasi wala pa silang nahanap na manager for that branch na hindi ako talaga yung plano nila. Parang gusto lang nilang, hopefully, within the 3 months, meron silang ma-hire and then magsistay pa rin ako doon as officer. So parang I find it very out of my morals na kasi ano na yun, trust issues na yun na parang ang hiningi ko lang sa inyo is to approve my transfer. Pero you initiated, no, to mention this to me. Tapos hindi rin pala siya nangyari. So, kumbaga yun na yung una. And then, I decided to continue to transfer in there doon sa manager position doon sa isang branch. So, nag-submit ako ng letter of intent, sinign na ng immediate supervisor ko, and I was surprised. The VP for the department did not sign it. So, iba na naman yung understanding ko doon na parang why? Parang gusto nyo ba akong mag-stay lang dito sa position ko? Even though other people see me na I can do that specific job. And at the same time, I've been doing yung parang shouldering the job of the manager ng almost more than 1 year na. So parang ang naano ako doon na parang they don't trust me or they have issues on how I look. Kasi yun lang yung nagbago doon sa ano ko sa transition ko na parang hindi ako yung tamang mag-represent doon sa parang establishment for the manager position. So it's really against my morals. I already had trust issues. Then I decided that I have to let go. Regardless if sobrang okay ako sa mga katrabaho ko, wala akong problema, sobrang lapit lang niya sa bahay ko. Parang being a part of a good soldier na habang tumatagal, you're giving in, no, setting aside your morals and making sure na you are still who you are, no, during the time na nag-work ka, no, na maintain mo yung katauhan mo. And kapag umabot na doon sa point na they are destroying, no, the integral part, the integrity, no, na meron ka pa, I think it's proper na din to let go of it kasi wag mong hayaan na mabago ka ng work mo. Kasi work is a temporary thing, no? Lalo na kung hindi mo own yung business na yun. So, the only permanent thing for you is who you are, how you were built, no? Your values, your morals. So, yun I think yung mas important. So, yun yung part ko ng good soul.
Yes. Oo. Tsaka, alam ko, I must agree, ako personally, very, very important sa akin yung word na integrity. Na usually parang, okay, associate, di ba, honesty and stuff, ganyan. But di ba when you say integrity, yung kabuuan ng character mo na parang, before you enter in any endeavor, in any workplace, dapat kilala mo kung sino ka, and kung ano yung hangganan mo, ano yung kaya mong ibigay. Di mo, as with anything, hindi lang nga siya sa work sa relationship na papasukin mo, di ba, sa lahat ng mga bagay-bagay. Kasi if you lose yourself in things or circumstances, that's very, very dangerous, di ba, na parang, so, parang, and again, it's not easy actually, di ba, when we say na parang, okay, the good soldier is someone na parang, talagang will go to the battlefield, minsan kahit na parang compromise mo yung values mo, and it happens. Kumbaga, hindi tayo nagmamalinis na at some point minsan nagawa din nating maging good soldier for the sake of it. Pero siguro ultimately, eventually dadating ka sa punto na yung experience ni Ogo siguro na, ako personally kasi kaya ko pa bang makatulog ng mahimbing sa gabi knowing na ito yung ginagawa ko or something. Parang eventually it led me to making huge career decisions that I never thought I would make. Pero it gave me peace. And it's priceless, guys. I mean, Of course, parang hindi lahat may ganong luxury, may mga breadwinner sa atin, I acknowledge that, 'di ba? Hindi easily siya nagagawa, 'di ba? Pero eventually, dadating siya eh. At some point, sasabihin mo na kaya wag niyong ipilit, 'di ba? Siguro yun lang din sinasabi ko na parang, 'di ba, kunwari, yung dumating si August sa decision na yun or dumating ako sa decision na yun, it came naturally na parang, okay, eto na, hanggang dito na lang. Kasi even yung kinento ni August kanina eh, steps yung nangyari, 'di ba? Sinubukan mo naman, sumunod ka naman. Pero at some point parang, okay, hanggang dito na lang po ako. Thank you na lang, ganyan. Ikaw, Matt, meron ka bang mga situations like that na, yung good soldier in yung nire-resent yung pagiging good soldier mo?
Of course. Oo naman, meron din. I guess, yung sa akin naman, it has something to do with, yung current situation. We are in a pandemic and the virus is very present still. And,
Mhm.
in my job, I have to, while we're on a work from home setup, I have to also go out and, attend shoots and all that. Though lahat yon may COVID testing and all that. But I guess I just realized I had to set boundaries, just like what August did. I guess mine is just on a different form, but it's setting boundaries because you know that you're also risking yourself and your loved
Mhm.
ones. I mean, yung principle na the more that you go out, the more that you put yourself at a higher risk of catching the virus. So, doon naman yung sa akin, sa ganung situation naman, wherein
Mm.
I decided that I had to separate myself from, doing this specific task, even if it's what is asked of us, because I'm protecting my health and the people that I love. So, yun naman yung sa akin. It takes guts to do that, and I personally admire people who can, draw boundaries because it can also be taken against you. I've heard
Yes.
stories na yun nga, yung saying no, um, parang prioritizing things that are not particularly in line with the company's vision. So, 'di ba, it's so tricky, these situations. They're so tricky that you have to be really careful how you deal with them. But yeah, I guess for safety's sake, it's best not to go into details, but yun yung sa akin. I
Mhm.
guess the moral is you have to know until when you can subject yourself to this things that you're not particularly aligned with in terms of values.
Yes, yes, oo. Tsaka siguro parang ang trick din kasi to know when you're making the right decision or you're setting the right boundaries is siguro yung reaction din ng mga tao sa paligid mo. Ako naniniwala ako personally that the people who really care for you genuinely won't be disappointed or hurt or will not take anything against you when you make a certain choice. Now, kapag may mga taong iba ang reaksyon, mataas ang reaksyon, 'di ba? And will take that against you. Aba, red flag na 'yun. Anong ginagawa mo sa buhay ko? Lumayas ka sa life ko, 'di ba? Because if I am choosing for myself, for my safety, or kung ano man ang motivation ko, if you really care for me, if you're rooting for me, I should not be even explaining myself to you to begin with,
Mm,
'di ba? So yun, parang
agree.
malaki din siyang kasi tama yung sinabi nila, Matt, it may consequences siya, pero tignan niyo din yung consequences in such a way na parang nasi-sift through mo yung mga taong dapat na nasa life mo at dapat wala sa life mo, 'di ba? Okay.
If I may
So,
just add lang din,
go
sorry, yeah.
August.
Like for example, for those then, ang hope ko din talaga yung HR industry talaga magkaroon ng new generation of HR who can change things. Like for example, yung sa mga part of resignation, kumbaga aalis na. It's because nga it's against the values and morals na meron sila dun sa nangyayari sa work nila. And by the exit interview, bigla kang magugulat na offeran ka ng something na, kunyari, increase in salary or a promotion na parang actually, if you look into it, hindi naman agad-agad na makakapag-isip ka na mag-resign. Usually, it takes a lot of days, a lot of thinking. Minsan pa nga, di ba, ang iba nagre-resign kapag may nahanap na bagong work. So, ibig sabihin, even before pa yung exit interview, napag-isipan na yan ng maayos ng employee. And ang i-offer mo sa kanya is monetary value or, kumbaga, parang a promotion. That's too late. That's too late. Dapat na ano na siya, kumbaga parang napansin na siya or kung deserve niya talaga, di ba? Dapat nabigay na siya prior pa doon sa umabot siya sa point of resigning.
It's so funny how they can it's so funny how suddenly they can find the funds to make you stay when all along you know that you're deserving of it, and they should have been, preparing for that. They should have given that way ahead of time. So it's a common problem. Yeah.
Oo. I agree. Okay. So mainit-init na po ang usapan natin, and it will lead us to our last Bayani Archetype. Ito na yung bahala kayo kung ano opinion nyo, kung bayani siya o pabayani lang, or dapat dapat ganon. Okay. So, wait. Magbasa muna tayo ng mga comments. Haha, OMG. Na-experience ko yan sa first company ko, tapos inoferan ako ng 1K increase when I filed my resignation. Grabe, I felt so insulted. Habala kayo dyan. Grabe yung 1K. Grabe yung 1K, parang pang ano lang yun, pang inom lang. Pang inom with pulutan and ano.
Pang samgyup.
Actually, di sila aware na yung pag-offer nila ng monetary value, mas lalo pag nagko-confirm doon sa decision nag-resign, na parang hindi siya nakatulog na mag-stay ka. Pag-offer ka once.
Tsaka di ba kunwari exit interview siya ginawa and all, parang, ay, hindi mo na gets, no? Ba't ako umalis?
Wala silang idea.
Mabagal. Sorry. Anyway. Okay. Ito na yung last archetype natin. Our last archetype is extra. Hindi X-Men, extra. So, ano itong mga extra na ito? So, itong mga extra, sige ako mag-e-explain. Itong mga extra, quote-unquote, hero employees. Ito yung mga, naman, our generation, we love to be extra. Ito yung mga beyond the call of duty employees. Diba? Yung parang, literally, they would go the extra mile. Okay? Kaya ko parang feeling ko kailangan masama sa listahan natin. It's because parang going beyond the call of duty and going the extra mile, these are things that we actually admire. 'Di ba? Parang ito yung mga bagay na nag-aaral pa lang tayo, sinasabi na parang ina-admire, ino-honor, ina-awardan, kino-compliment yung mga taong, wow, taray, ito lang yung hiningi, ito yung binigay. 'Di ba? Parang humingi lang ako ng adobo, binigyan mo pa ako ng dessert, 'di ba? Nag-bake ka pa ng dessert, or 'di ba? Parang kahit adobo lang naman yung nasa menu or yung order. So, nagutom ako sa example ko. Sorry, kain ako mamaya. Ubusin ko yung kanin sa rice cooker. Anyway, so yun, ang akin, kaya ko siya sinama kasi gusto ko din siyang i-challenge na parang, is it really right? Or is it really required? Siguro wag right yung word. Is it really required for you to go the extra mile and go beyond the call of duty for your work? Okay. Sige. Kayo muna magbigay ng mga ganap ang opinion nyo. Matt?
Yeah, actually, I very much agree with, this archetype. I guess I want to start by, kasi our topic, parang workplace hero, I want to define what this means exactly. I agree when you said these are people that go above and beyond expectations. People who achieve great feats despite the risk of failure. They put others above themselves, and sila talaga yung mga savior in times of adversity.
In short, sila yung mga, sa workplace natin, sila yung mga huwaran. Talagang tinitingnang bayani, savior. But it begs the question, is it exactly a good thing? And
Mhm.
my take there is it's both yes and no.
Mhm.
2 points, bakit yes? 2 points, bakit no? Parang PBB. 2 points sa yes, 2
2
points
points
sa
po
no.
para kay August kasi po hindi naman niya kailangan yung prize money kasi mayaman
Ah,
siya.
by the
Oh,
way,
go ahead.
may bagong PBB season pala ha. Anyway,
Oo.
it's both yes and no. I took some notes earlier. Yes, if if you go in the extra mile, meaning you becoming the workplace hero, it's a good thing if it inspires others to lay claim of their own heroic self as well.
Mhm.
If yung pagiging bayani mo ay makaka-inspire para yung iba mag-step up then it's a good thing. Because
Okay.
may makakatuwang yung hero and it will lighten the load.
Mhm.
The second reason why it's a good thing is if the workplace becomes an emotionally safe space. I think it's very important, especially now that mental and emotional stability is important more than anything else. Yung pagiging hero mo ba ay nagdudulot para yung iba magkaroon ng honest and open conversation about the things that they struggle with. Madalas, mabigat yung trabaho not because mabigat yung trabaho, but because mabigat yung loob mo sa katrabaho mo. And
Okay.
it's an emotionally safe space, then there's no judgment. Kung gusto mong humingi ng tulong, kung aaminin mong meron kang hindi alam, others would step in and actually help. And therefore, lightening the workload. And then, tapos na yung yes. Another 2 points naman for the no. It's not a good thing if the company relies on this heroic individual to bail them out every single time and fails to address the underlying issue. Bakit managers need to ask, why is there a need for a superhero effort in the first place? Bakit kailangan may nagsasakripisyo? 'Di ba? At the expense of the empleyado na magkano na lang ang sinisweldo. Bakit kailangan mangyari pa yun? What could
Yes.
have been done better? What could have been, rectified before the chaos ensued? And the last thing why it's not a good thing is if this problem persists and the company fails to put effective systems in place. Effective systems are the enemy of chaos. And effective systems are a good
Ganda.
indicator of a healthy business. So hindi kailangang may mamatay na empleyado kung yung management itself has effective systems in place.
I-highlight natin yun na effective systems are the enemies of chaos. Is the enemy of chaos. Oh, ganda
Yeah.
nun. Totoo kasi 'di ba it says a lot nga about the management, 'di ba, or the company itself kapag may kailangang magpakahero at iligtas
Yeah.
ang sambayanan, 'di ba?
Oo.
Para lang maitawid ang isang
Bakit
proyekto or something.
bakit kailangan na may umuwi ng late? I mean, gets na natin pag may launch or pag may emergency or crisis na kailangang i-avert.
Crisis, oo.
But if this happens every single time na parang wala na bang i-improve ang sistema, then it's we have to take a step back, and we're talking about the senior management or even the bigger stakeholders. Bakit hindi natin kayang gawan ng paraan? Itong mga trabahador natin na one of our most important assets. Bakit sila kailangan mag-take ng brunt ng problema na dapat management ang nagbibigay ng direksyon or ng solusyon. So yon. So the answer to that question, is it exactly a good thing being a hero in the workplace, is both a yes and a no thing.
Actually, Matt, naalala ko, meron kaming inside joke niya ng mga dati kong ka-work na ginagalingan nyo kasi. Huwag nating galingan. Kasi minsan pag ginagalingan, umaabot, uulit, di ba? Para, huwag nating galingan kaya. Huwag natin kaya paabutin. Actually, eto, may share ako medyo juicy yan. Isa sa mga hinihit ko, pet peeve ko sa work ko before was yung magbabantay ka ng dubbing. Particularly ng dubbing ng actors. And the dubbing studio, dyan lumalabas yung tunay na kulay ng mga yan. Mga actors na nakaka-work mo. I've worked with a lot of good and professional actors. Okay, so I admire them. Pero meron din ako mga nakatrabaho na, shucks, sino ka? Ganyan. So, there's this time when kailangan i-dub ang isang confrontation scene because may tama yung lapel or something. Kasi parang may kailangan lang ayusin. It was just one line. I know na it's very difficult for actors. Kasi confrontation scene yun, di ba? Ang hirap i-dub na ma-retain mo yung same, iba yung live with all the crying and all versus sa hindi mo i-dub mo, di ba? Mahahalata siya. But I've also seen actors, good actors like, sige, I'll mention, like, Bea Alonso is a good dubber. As in, kaya niyang i-dub ang kanyang umiiyak na eksena. You didn't notice. And apparently, napapanood niyo siya. So, and it should be done because it's your work. You know, it's your work, it's your task, it's your job. And then there's this one, at dito na ako sa point na to, na yun na, ito na si Maldita, hindi na ako yes man or something. So, parang tawag dito, usually kasi nakakasangkapan, pag imi-mix na yung mga sound sa dubbing and then the other elements, yung creative kasi yung nagbabantay. Okay, so pag mayroon dyang di matinong pagkakadub or something, kami yung nabiblame for it. To which I don't agree with. Diba? Kasi parang may feeling ako lagi na parang akong laging nakakasangkapan sa mga bagay na hindi ko naman kayang kontrolin, tulad ng kung paano idadub ng isang aktor ang kanyang eksena. Diba? I can only do so much for that. Until there's this one instance na si Ate Cho ng actor.
Like item pala.
Like item pala. Attitude. Sabi ko, inaantok na ako, puyat na ako, visit na ako sa life, sa sistema, sa lahat, sa life ko nung time na yon. Parang anytime, parang akong walking time bomb nun, na anytime may maling mangyari, I would resign and I would, abandon everyone and ayoko na, gano'n. Pero syempre, di naman gano'n yung nangyari. Tinapos ko naman yung project, but ang naging pet peeve ko nun, or actually, ang naging hangganan ko nun, ang boundary ko nun was, I saw how this actor disrespected my director in front of me, in front of some staff. Kasi dubbing studio ko, iilan lang naman yung nandun. At yung kumbaga, tinawag ko na yung director ko to help kasi feeling ko, back susunod ka, hindi ka din sumunod. Sabi ko, ako ba magmumuang tanga sa premiere night or sa pelikula pag yung dinab mo pangit? So parang, yung katabi kong production assistant, sabi niya, kuya, tinext ako, sabi niya, kuya, kasi ito yung ginagawa na technique ng ibang creative supervisor, pagalitan mo ko kunwari. Kasi pag nalalaman daw ni actor na may nadadamay ng iba because of pag-iinarte niya, sumusunod na. So, nag-reply ako, nag-reply ako dun sa text, kasi syempre di mo pwedeng Sabi ko, no, I won't do that. If yun yung ginagawa ng iba, edi gawin nila, ako hindi ko yan gagawin. Kasi bakit kita papagalitan? Ginagawa mo yung trabaho mo. Diba? Tinotolerate na naman natin yung kaartihan ng mga yan. So, parang sabi ko, no, I won't do that. I-dub niya ng maayos. Pero nandun ako hindi na ako nag-beyond the call of duty kasi yung younger Jancy na baguhan, parang sige no. Alam mo yun yung sinasabi ni August ng mga lambing na parang sige no, gawin mo na. Or di ba parang wala na mag-circo ka, tumambling ka, lahat gawin mo, libangin mo para sumunod sa'yo. Ay hindi ngayon, magmumukhang tanga sa premiere night, fine, wala akong pakialam. Kasi ang pelikula naman, hindi lang naman ako yan. Di ba? So, dinub ko. Usually kasi pag magpapadub kayo guys, 1 take, 2 take, safety. Di ba? Alam niyo yan, di ba? May safety, ganyan. Pag di ka talaga satisfied, di mo papaulit mo siya. O kaya minsan gagawin niyo ng paraan, chop-chop-chopping niyo yung first two set words niya mas maganda sa second dun sa last two words, dudugtong mo yon. May mga ganong hack. Dito, one take. Sabi ko, kasi na-offend na rin ako sa ginawa niya dun sa director. Sabi ko, okay, next. Tapos, siguro nagulat siya na, wala, hindi siya nagpapa-take two, ganyan. Kasi, andun ako, guys, ha. Kapag napagalitan ako sa dubbing, sasabihin ko, wag ako sisihin nyo. I mean, kaya ko nang harapin yung producer ko, bakit ko po kasalanan kung hindi niya dinub ng maayos at unprofessional siya. Diba? Kasi ano na ako nun, I felt bad na why would we go beyond the call of duty for an attitude problem? Yung mga kasama ko yung tech na alam mo yung older than us, the director, and then this young production assistant na nanginginig na sa'yo. Nagtatrabaho ng maayos yung mga tao dito, tapos Shona ka? Wag ako sis. Diba? Wag ganon. Mali yun. So parang ako, no. That's how I know na going beyond the call of duty is wrong in this situation. So parang sabi ko, no. O tapos after nun, sabi ko, okay, thank you so much, bye. Umalis na ako sa dubbing studio. And then maya-maya, tinext ako nung production assistant na, kuya, ano po, inuulit niya po yung mga dinub niya. Parang so siya na yung nag-ano sa sarili niya, na parang inayos na niya on sa sarili niya kasi nga parang feeling niya, shit, ako yung magmumukhang tanga dito. Yun. Pero parang feeling ko, in general kasi, being extra or going beyond the call of duty, again, it's always gonna be a question of, is it in alignment with your values? 'Di ba? With what you believe in. And for me, ito lang, hindi siya required. Kung ako ang manager, it would be unfair. For example, if you have 2 employees na parang yung isa hindi nag-go beyond the call of duty, pero nabigay niya yung deliverable niya. Exactly. So kung ano yung binilin mo, tapos ang ganda ng output niya versus dun sa isa na ang ganda and more. 'Di ba? Parang kunwari ang hiningi mo lang dito lagyan mo ng glitters, ito nilagyan ng sequins, feathers, 'di ba? Kahit di mo hiningi. Tapos siya yung better. Nag-perform lang naman yung isa ng maayos. Parang I don't think proper barometer siya of judging the performances of your employees. Parang unfair siya. So for me, pwede siyang gawin if you want to, pero hindi siya dapat required. Yun. Ikaw, August, what do you think? Kasi naging manager ka din eh.
Yeah. So there is two types. Kumbaga, yung extra or X-Men na hawak mo as employees and yung X-Men as colleagues mo naman. Mga same level mo, mga managers. Ang pinaka natutunan ko doon sa overall experience ko sa industry yung quality of work. You need to recognize each and everyone's quality of work. Iba-iba tayo ng kalidad ng trabaho, pero pare-pareho lang din ng output. To give an example, kumbaga, kung sa school, nagagawa ka ng essay, no, sa klase nyo, no, ikaw ba ang tipo ng gagawa ng essay na mag-correction, liquid correction or correction tape, tapos susulat ka, itutuloy mo na lang yung isusulat mo na essay? O ikaw yung tipo na kapag nagkamali ka, magpapalit ka ng bagong pad, bagong papel, at isusulat mo ulit yung nauna mo nang nasulat. So kumbaga, in the end, nakapag-submit sila pareho ng essay. The only difference is, etong isa may bura siya, pero nagawa pa rin niya ng buo yung essay niya. The other one is nagawa yung essay niya na malinis. So, it's the same output, pero magkaiba ng quality of work. And minsan, nabivilinize din yung quality of work. Kasi, kumbaga, kung ikaw mismo, OC ka eh, ayaw mo nung medyo hindi aligned yung mga bagay-bagay, ganyan, or gusto mong malaman yung ibang mga figures doon sa ginagawa mo. So, nag-figure out ka para lang for yourself, parang satisfaction na hindi ka anxious, kumbaga parang relaxed ka na ginawa mo yung report na yun. Pero hindi nga siya ni-require, pero sa'yo required yun for your, kumbaga for your sanity. So, minsan, lalo na pag nagiging best practice siya, no, na ginagawa mo, and pinapa-apply din siya dun sa mga colleagues mo. Parang, itong ginawa niyang format, itong ginawa niyang system, apply this also. So, doon na nice na parang okay na kami sa quality of work namin before. Pero since ikaw, in-introduce mo siya just for your sanity, nadamay kami. Na parang kailangan na rin namin siyang gawin even though same output lang naman. Pero since ginawan mo siya ng parang framework and nagustuhan nila, so parang unconsciously, no? Parang nagbida-bida ka pero hindi mo alam kasi on your own, yun yung quality of work na ginagawa mo. Diba? And for doon naman sa mga employees no sa hawak mo as a manager, you need also to recognize na iba-iba sila ng quality of work. Yun muna. Ngayon, it's your job, it's your responsibility to be able to develop them into something better doon sa current na quality of work nila. Not necessarily na i-compare mo sila doon sa employee mo na going extra mile, but making sure that they are improving on their own on their own pace. Diba? Kasi once na ma-mention mo ang comparison no sa colleagues mo, iba na yung effect nun kasi yun na lang yung makikita nila sa'yo na tingin mo sa kanila. So, make sure na you recognize employee going extra mile, pero since nag-extra mile na siya, you focus on those people under sa'yo na hindi ganon the same yung quality of work. Kasi yun yung parang goal mo or kumbaga make it your responsibility na pare-pareho kayong umaangat. Diba? So,
okay. Sige. So, eto, meron lang, may nag-share sa atin. Si Zoomer, medyo mahaba-haba siya, pero basahin natin. Wait, parang dito siya. Nung baguhan ako sa work, I always go for the extra mile. Best in volunteer pa. It's the leader in me, actually. Pinaganda pa. It's the bida-bida in me. For years, ganyan ako. Eventually, syempre, papa-impress ka rin kasi gusto mong mag-career growth, promote, etc. Thinking na plus points ito for you. So, everyone's watching now, do it. Hindi masama ang magbida kung gusto mo naman ng extra work at kaya mo naman ito. Ginusto mo. But, here's the tea. At for sure, hindi naman ito sa lahat. So, sasabihin ko na lang based on experience. Hindi siya palaging magbubunga. Hindi assurance na going the extra mile will help you para makaangat sa work. Kahit pa deserve mo. And I will tell you, masakit yon. Lalo na kung may ibang tao na hindi naman deserving. Again, based on experience ito, so hindi talaga sila deserving na totoo. Ang umangat dahil, again, yes man sila. Share ko lang, o di ba wala ako masyado masabi. Pero yun, parang actually, alam mo, totoo yan. Minsan hindi din extra mile at competence. May mga iba na dadaan sa charm. May mga iba, aminin natin ang realidad, there's politics involved, di ba? There's politics in the office, in the workplace. And may mga ibang magaling lumaro. I'm not antagonizing them, but ako, it's not my thing. Alam mo yun, parang, pero kung i-admire them na nagagawa nila, to be fair, 'di ba? Parang and so what kung wala naman sila hopefully inaapakang tao, pero 'di ba? Parang but usually kasi if politics is involved, meron may ganon. So ikaw bahala ka sa life mo kung paano mo i-conduct yourself mo better at work, 'di ba? But totoo 'yun, parang hindi nga assurance ang extra mile, going the extra mile for you to get the extra credit that you aspire for. In fairness. Okay, so bago pa tayo makapag-spill ng mga kung ano-ano, baka kinakabahan na si Ali sa akin kung ano-ano daw mga sinishare ko. Wala mo na akong binanggit. Tsaka di ako papa-initials, no. Nako, di pwede. Secret po yun. Text ko na lang sa'yo, sis. Okay. Ayan. So, after itong broadcast, sasabihin ko kay August sa kay Matt, sino yun? Anyway, okay, sige. So, we're gonna wrap up our episode tonight. But before we do, sige, August, I'll give you the opportunity muna to promote your podcast dito sa Petsa de Peligro. Baka may mga nanonood na invite mo sila sa podcast mo.
Thank you, Jancy. Sa lahat po nanonood sa Petsa de Peligro, you can listen po to our episodes. We're also talking about the work life, no? So everything na pwedeng mapag-usapan with my guests then. So that's Gusto Podcast sa Facebook, Instagram, and also in our Spotify. Follow us po, and this upcoming weeks we will have new episodes din po. Thank you.
Ayan, may new episodes. Okay, bongga yan. Okay. Thank you so much, August. And of course, sige, before we say our quick parting words, may hinanda si August, Matt, at ako for you guys to end this episode. But before that, I will also invite everyone to please follow all the social media accounts of Hiraya Media. So we are on Facebook. It's at Media Hiraya, and on Instagram and Twitter, we are Hiraya_media. And again, please visit our website. Lahat ng mga content namin nandyan, www.hirayamedia.com. We are currently on our July to August narrative, which is our youth narrative. So may mga articles kami i-release soon for the next weeks or so that talks to the Filipino youth. Marami yan. So I hope that you visit our website and all our platforms. Kasi aside sa Petsa de Peligro, we'll soon release more online shows. We also have a few on Kumu. So, babalitaan namin kayo dyan sa mga socials namin. Okay. So, di ba mga heroes, laging may mga one-liner. So, gano'n na lang. Ano na lang yung one, di ba, merong with great power comes a greater power bottom. Charek. O kaya, ang hindi marunong magmahal sa sariling wika ay palanood ng Peppa Pig. Mga ganon. So kayo, ano ang maiiwan yung one-liner sa ating mga kapwa alipin for this year's National Heroes Day? August, mauna ka na.
Ako kasi dalawa.
Okay.
So, una ko muna, sa science, yung natutunan ko. Big things occupies big spaces. So, nasa sayo na yon kung alin yung i-consider mo na big for you, no? And kung ano yung mag-occupy ng space mo, time man yan sa utak mo or sa nararamdaman mo. So, you have to decide what really matters. And the last one, since National Heroes Day, no, an employee is already a hero even before getting hired. So yung effort mo sa trabaho, it should also reflect on how you treat your family, your loved ones, no, and make sure na you do this also kahit pa nabibigay mo siya sa work. So, kumbaga parang wag mong kalimutan yung mga reasons kung bakit ka nag-work, no? You need to make sure to put in also an effort there. Give time, no? Yung quality of work mo, no? Ibigay mo din sa quality ng bonding na binibigay mo sa mga loved ones and family. So always remember, bago ka pa naging empleyado, hero ka na sa mga nagmamahal sa'yo. So, wag mo silang kalimutan kahit na focused ka sa goals mo din. Yun lang.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bongga. Okay, how about you, Matt?
For me, two lines. First one is we need to embrace the need to do the little necessary things each day. What does that mean? We have to trust the process or fall in love with the process of doing the mundane but the necessary important things, because these are building blocks to your greater success. We have to remember that fantastic workers, or eventually the hero workers, if you decide that you want to be a hero, if you want to devote your life and time to the work that you do, because if that's your thing, then it doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. But fantastic workers are those that show up and make consistent, meaningful, independent progress every day. So you have to trust the process, show up, and remember that consistency is key. That's it.
Ganda. Taray. Papemel Roti, baka naman. Gawin ng merch o baka pa-words of wisdom ni August at lahat.
Sobrang
Okay.
classic ng Marvel Rocky.
Ako, tinweak ko siya. Hindi siya masyadong related sa work, pero hiniram ko siya from one of our Filipino heroes. Na-feeling ko relevant siya sa'yo as an employee and as a Filipino both. So, di ba sabi ni Ninoy Aquino, the Filipino is worth dying for. Ako, iti-tweak ko siya na mas relevant sa times natin ngayon. The Filipino is worth voting for. Kaya yung mga kabataan po na ma-reach nitong Petsa de Peligro, pag nire-watch nyo kami sa Facebook at sa YouTube at currently mga nanonood ngayon, please register to vote. Magparehistro ka, sis and bro. Okay? Dahil as an employee, alam naman natin ang working conditions natin ngayon. Or baka nga hindi ka employee, unemployed ka. Dahil mahirap humanap ng trabaho ngayon, di ba? Hindi tayo makatravel. Sa kabila ng mga mental health issues natin sa work at lahat ng mga depression and anxiety and na-experience natin, tayo, di ba, parang of course, it's because of the pandemic, but eventually we have to stop blaming the pandemic, di ba? And be mindful of what this pandemic is teaching us, and it doesn't help that you have a bad government right now. Okay, so wag mong ilagay sa kamay lang ng ibang tao ang next 6 years mo, hindi lang bilang isang empleyado, kundi bilang isang Pilipino. Kasi lagi nating sinasabi na hiwalay yan, of course, it doesn't matter. Politics, hindi ako yan, hindi ka involved. No. Bawat pinag-usapan natin ngayon, bawat reklamo natin sa workplace, from a simple OT, issue sa OT, simple issue sa dapat babayad ako dito, hindi ako bayad, sa ano yung karapatan kong bilang empleyado, lahat po yan ay apektado ng politika. So, imposible po na sabihin nyo na hindi po kayo apektado. So, the Filipino is worth voting for. And we are calling the COMELEC. Sana naman po, pakinggan nyo po ang aming plea to extend the REWATCH. Dahil po, hindi naman po masyadong normal ang circumstances natin ngayon, di ba? And 8 months nga po, di umano ang nawala. Di ba? Sa ating mga actually, I was fortunate na nakahabol ako before mag-ECQ. Kasi hinabol ko talaga siya kasi kinabahan ako nga na magka-problema. Ayan, nakapagparehistro na po ako. Please visit We the Youth Vote Instagram and Facebook. I-message nyo po sila, i-browse nyo po yung content nila. Marami po mga instructionals dyan na pwedeng tumulong sa inyo kung if you're a first-time voter or you're just reactivating or transfer lang siya. Pwede nyo rin po siyang i-message sa mga OFWs na gusto pong magparehistro. I-message nyo po ang We the Youth Vote, baka makatulong po sila sa inyo. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much, Matt and August. I enjoyed the night with you guys.
Thank you, Jancy.
Okay, and sana this isn't going to be your last guesting sa Petsa de Peligro, so uulitin. Okay. So thank you so much, August and Matt, and thank you so much to all our viewers na tumutok sa amin hanggang dulo at mga sumama sa amin from last episode and this episode. Please share this live stream. Please share. We're also on YouTube, so share nyo din yung link na yon. And invite them to watch our Petsa de Peligro episodes and follow us all our socials on Hiraya Media. Thank you so much. Have a good night, mga alipin. Huwag masyadong pa-hero. Okay? Pero happy National Heroes Day sa ating lahat. God bless you all. Bye!